Oh man, geez, so tired of here flying to Egypt to visit the Great Pyramids. I can't believe that Bob and Rachel decided they wanted to record an episode of You Can't Scare Me, Goosebumps podcast, in the Great Pyramid of Giza. I guess it's a pretty cool idea, but man, when I got here, I thought they would, meet me, but I'm all alone. I'm all alone in the Great Pyramid and all these tunnels. I'm just walking through tunnels and I can't find Bob or Rachel, and they just won't talk to me. It's kind of spooky in these tunnels here in Egypt, and I'm all alone, and I don't know. What's that? Oh wow, it's a big chamber. Well, this is probably where they want to record the podcast. I guess the acoustics are good in a big burial chamber. Oh, wait a minute. What's that at the back of the chamber? It's a sarcophagus. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait a minute. It's opening. The sarcophagus is opening. It's open a little bit. It's open a little bit more. It's open a little bit more. Oh my god, it's like a quarter of the way open. It's still opening. Oh my god, it's opening a little bit more. Oh my god, it's opening a little. Hey, oh my god, is that a hand? Is that a hand coming out of the sarcophagus?
Hey!
Oh, hey!
It's us!
Look out, it's a mummy!
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh! I've been shot several times. Why would you do that? We were in the
I'm sorry. I just didn't. Listen, you can't just scare a guy like that. You can't scare a guy like that on location in the Great Pyramid of Giza.
I'm getting woozy. I'm losing blood.
Well, Bob, let this be a lesson to you.
Oh god. Oh, are those fucking scorpions?
Yeah, there's scorpions everywhere in here.
Oh fuck. Oh, they're chittering and stuff.
I thought you might have noticed that. There are a lot of chittering. Yeah, that's the one thing they do a lot.
Welcome to You Can't Scare Me. I'm basically dead.
This intro's so stupid. This intro's really dumb.
Hey, I love it because it fits the source material. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm Bob. I'm here with Rachel.
Yes, hi.
And Mario.
Hey, hi, it's me, Mario, the cool ghoul who's everybody's pal.
There it is. He's got one of the catchphrases, which I'm excited to get to. So yeah, Rachel's back.
I'm back.
Welcome. Where were you?
Well, the oddest thing happened. Bob found a camera and he took a picture of me.
It's true.
And then I woke up. And I'm here, and we're doing another podcast.
Yeah, it turns out, hey, if you ever take a picture of someone, immediately rip that shit up because it captures their soul.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do feel like something very important to me is like gone.
We'll talk about it later. Hey, so who likes mummies?
Me.
I love mummies.
Oh, well, I'm sorry for you. Because, today's episode...
Prepare to wait a long time.
We are doing, book number, is this 4 or 5? I forget.
5.
5th book. We are doing number 5, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
I'm just going to say it right now. Up the front. I fucking hate this book. I fucking hate this book.
Straight up the front, fucking terrible book.
This book sucks, gang. This book sucks.
Here's the thing. We're starting right off with it. I think I like this book a little bit more than Mario does. I'm just going to say it. I don't think that it's the best Goosebumps by far. I don't think that but here's the thing. I don't think that it's the worst Goosebumps book by far, but we will get to it.
It feels like we did Say Cheese and Die, and then we approached a large cliff and fell off of it directly into a pit of scorpions.
When you're right, you're right. So, I think we've got something to do, yo.
Yeah, what?
I think. Why did I just say yo? I meant y'all.
Yo,
but it came out yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Yo.
Yo. I think Mario's about to hit us with something. Can you feel it, Rachel? Can you feel it?
Uh-huh.
Can you feel it?
Yeah.
I think he's about to hit us with some fucking history.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got this.
Oh, shit.
All right. So this book was published in January of 1993. We've officially moved out of 1992, and we're starting off 93 as weak as possible. Say Cheese was published in November 92, so we have 2 months of downtime, during which culture did progress, but not by much. In December of 1992, at the movies, just put yourself in this mind space, To Grandmother's House We Go, starring Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Oh my God.
Wow. I never saw it.
It's before they became Marvel. Wait, which one was it?
No.
Neither of them is
It's
in
neither
Marvel.
of them. She's the youngest.
Right. Oh, right.
Or more.
See, yeah. I'm terrible. They got famous on Full House, right?
Full House.
Yeah.
And then it just went from there. And they did a bunch of what was that series they did where they were like detectives?
Oh my God.
Mary-Kate and Ashley, Private Eyes?
Yeah.
Probably.
I just remember them dressed up like two little Sherlock Holmeses.
I remember that too.
Yeah, thought it was cute.
I remember, of course, I want pizza.
Toss the fish, let it fly. Fly, pizza pie. Pizza! P-I-Z-Z-A. Give me pizza! Watch it rise like a souffle. Give me pizza! P-I-Z-Z-A. I want pizza! You think we should stop?
Famously, they want pizza. To Grandmother's House We Go. I remember only because it was on ABC Family a lot. I certainly did not see it in theaters, but it was shown a lot on television in the dark times.
That's something I feel like doesn't happen much anymore. Like kids, like they just, whatever they want to watch, they just watch it.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, I feel so old, but like stuff would really get rinsed and repeated for us.
Oh, you just had to watch certain things. You just like...
There was nothing else on. You couldn't do anything. The only thing that I figured out how to do was I had a TV with a little with a VCR built into it, and I realized that anything that played on the TV, I could record it onto a VHS tape. So that's how I recorded a bunch of Mystery Science Theaters when I was a kid. And I would just label them all and play them back constantly. And yeah, that's how that was my version of a DVR back then. But it was just so rare, and you had to have a VHS for every single thing, and I had to repurpose everything. I had like my Space Ghost stuff.
You also don't get the problem of missing things.
Yes,
like you don't get you like where you spend all week thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna watch this on Thursday night. I'm gonna watch the premiere of A Night in Terror Tower on Thursday evening for whatever reason. I don't know, like Goosebumps is showing then. But oops, I got soccer practice and I missed it, and I'm never gonna see it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that would happen. I remember talking to friends when I was still taking the bus, and like I think it was right at the beginning of middle school, where they were talking to me about Power Rangers, and I had missed the previous episode, and I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't participate in this conversation.
Aww.
I have to excuse myself.
And that's when I socially died. Anyway.
Also in December 1992, who gives a shit? This movie, whatever. A Few Good Men, whatever.
Yeah.
Not Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson. No big names in that. No Mary-Kate and Ashley in that one.
No, who cares? Skip it. Moving on.
But the most important one, and probably the most important thing I will say on this list, The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Ooh, there you go.
Never saw it.
Never saw it either.
What?
Is that the one with
Rachel?
Is that the one with Kermit in it?
Yeah. Yeah, the little cameo from Kermit in that one. I have probably watched A Muppet Treasure Island 1,000 times.
Oh, there you go.
I think it's entirely possible that maybe more than any other film in history that I've watched the Muppet Treasure Island movie.
Damn.
Aww.
See, that's like me and probably the first TMNT movie. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like, I know that like the back of my hand, man. Different Muppets. So 993, January, comes along and gives us a little film called Leprechaun. Oh my.
I've seen that.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Rachel hasn't seen the Muppet Christmas Carol, but she has seen Faces of Death.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm a little fucked up.
Children of the Corn 2 came out that month. And Matinee, Joe Dante's send up to Bill Castle movies, starring John Goodman. Let's talk about TV because there is nothing on TV whatsoever in December of 1992. But in 1993, in January, Star Trek Deep Space Nine premiered. So
Nice.
I still need to watch that. I'm making my way up. I'm like pretty decently into, like, I'm playing Pokemon while I watch Star Trek The Next Generation.
I mean, Next Gen is so good.
Oh, I love it. It took a little while to get going. Like the first season.
Yeah.
That's the thing I feel like I didn't realize, like, getting back into this. The TNG or like the early seasons are pretty rough. They're like, they're kind
a
of,
little bit.
and it really starts off on a weird, like, anyway, I won't go into it, but
And until Tasha Yar dies, you know,
yeah,
like,
exactly. Like I found myself like, I remember TNG being so much better, and yeah, it totally gets there, and every episode is just like, this is the shit. Like
until
I am
you get
so
to the
excited
ghost
about
sex one, and then it's like, oh no.
I don't know which one you're
Oh,
talking
no,
about.
no,
Now I'm
no.
dreading it.
So the video games of 92, in December 92, Mega Man 5 came out. Fatal
you go.
Fury 2 came out, which, if you ask me, is okay. I checked the Game of the Years, right, just to see what they were. Street Fighter 2 basically won every Game of the year.
I mean,
except for, well, yeah, I mean,
classic. Like what the?
except for the Chicago Tribune, who gave it to Link to the Past.
Hey, I get it.
I mean, yeah,
I get it.
fair. And Game Fan, which gave it to, no, this is great, Cybernator and Streets of Rage 2. Which, fuck you, Game Fan. Fuck you. And then exciting news, nothing came out in January 1993. So that's the end of history. there was no history in January.
It's
Because
over.
fuck you, it's January.
Well, if we're done going over the past,
Yeah.
let's talk about the present with our 3-sentence summary. Now, Rachel, you can't participate because you did not read The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Mario, you do it so well, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to take it from you.
You should do it. I mean, because I think mine would be tainted.
Yeah, I'm going to try and give this as close to neutral of a 3-sentence summary as I can. Now, bear with me. I was not preparing for this,
Okay.
but let me just go ahead and whip something up, because I noticed last time when I did it, I wrote something up and it was just dumb, and so I'm just going to come up with it off the old noggin. Now to remember what the fuck happened in this.
See, the problem you're faced with is that for 16 chapters, nothing
Yeah, exactly.
happens.
Okay, so my first sentence is, once upon a time, there was
Bold.
Not a
a
mummy?
boy named Gabe
Yes.
who went with his parents for Christmas
Yep.
to Egypt to look at pyramids.
All good so far.
Period. Gabe's got some issues, comma, but despite them, his Uncle Ben, parenthetical, not from Spider-Man, unparenthetical, comes and basically adopts him from his parents because they fuck off for some weird reason. And
Yeah.
then the rest of the book doesn't happen because it's so fucking boring. And then his
Is this
niece
still...
/ daughter, this is still the second sentence,
A lot of ends and thens in here.
a lot of prepositional phrasing.
Semicolons, commas.
All of this is part of the second sentence, even the talkback. Whose name is Sorry, which gets really confusing when she apologizes for things. Annoys him to the point where they get lost in a pyramid and then some goofy shit happens, period.
I would say hijinks don't even ensue in this book.
Hijinks,
Dang.
hijinks slow to a crawl And the moral of the story is never fucking ever tie your shoes ever. The end. That's it. That's all I got. That's the
I mean, I think
summary.
that you're not. I think that you're pretty close. I think that like everything you said is accurate.
Yes. I aim to be accurate.
If anything, you maybe made it sound like there's more stuff in it than there is.
Oh, there's more. It's just a matter of we need to tell you about this, Rachel. This book is
All right.
It fucking goes.
Okay, because let's talk about the cover really quickly though. Before we do anything else.
Absolutely. This cover by Tim
the Wizard.
the Wizard
Jacobus.
Yeah, this did you want to describe it, Mario? I've been talking for a while.
I'd happily describe this cover. Because I think this is an excellent cover.
It is.
And in fact, it's so excellent. This cover shows up all the time on Goosebumps merch.
Yes.
This cover is one of the most common pictures on any Goosebumps memorabilia you will ever see. It is a mummy. I would say a perfect looking mummy.
Absolutely.
Like the flowing bandages look so good. Like excellent, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Red eyes, very spooky and intimidating. Now, granted, it's not a very action heavy scene.
No.
He's just kind of standing there like for a mugshot. Which maybe they did, you don't know.
A subtle hint to what happens in the book.
Yeah, actually, I would say this is very accurate. Maybe in this case, Tim Jacobus did get a summary of the book. It was like, you want me to draw a mummy? Doing nothing?
Okay. There's not really a fucking mummy in this book, but sure.
So he's standing in front of a like granite slab.
Yeah.
With a cool blue purple color.
Mm-hmm.
The color on this is so good.
I love it.
My eyes just drifted to the purple on the right hand side, and like I was just like hit with a wave of like, oh my god, if I were a kid, I'd be so fucking into this. Like as an adult, I'm into this. This looks fucking rad. Like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's got like blue in the highlights and purple in the shadows, and the thing that Mario's talking about is the shadow on the mummy's left, but our camera right. It's just there's this big shadow, and it's just kind of shrouded in this like purple like hue that's just kind of faded. It looks really, really good. I have seen the other covers, and they do not, especially okay. So the other cover, the updated cover by forget his name. Brandon Dorman. So he's the dude who did all the updated ones. His version is definitely leaning more toward like the creepy, scary, I'm gonna get you kind of vibes.
Like, I don't even think it's a bad cover, but I think it's even less accurate to what happens in this book. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. And like comparing them, it's definitely interesting because I feel like there's more of a creeping menace behind the mummy in Jacobus's work, whereas Brandon Dorman's is just like in your face.
Hey, hi, I'm a mummy. How's it going?
There is nothing subtle about it.
He also has like the Eye of Sauron for some fucking reason.
What the fuck is that? His eye, it's got that like black slit with like the yellow highlight right outside of it and a red orb.
I do think the new cover, the colors in the new cover are an interesting contrast because they're way more what you would expect.
Yes.
Like very yellow, lot of sandy yellow, right?
Yep.
And that's like what you would expect to see in a pyramid environment, which is why the blue like background in the original is so interesting. Like by comparison. It
really plays into like Brandon Dorman's concept is kind of like if in a lit or like outdoors, in Egypt, like that's
it looks like the entryway to a pyramid.
Yeah. And so there's light there, whereas Jacobus's work is playing, I think, more on the inherent darkness that you would find deep inside of a pyramid.
Which is accurate because this book spends about 80% of its runtime in the dark.
Yep.
Also, quick shout out to the Vietnamese cover.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh my God.
I don't know how the Vietnamese covers are constantly like just nailing it and just going all the way. It's so good. Like we should explain it. It's basically like there are hieroglyphics behind, like in the background, with basically a mummy like at a really interesting upside down kind of angle.
I sent the photo in Discord in case you haven't seen it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's so creepy.
While the mummy is doing like a
scream pose. Like
like the scream or the Macaulay Culkin like scream face.
you fully get from this the idea that it's in constant agony.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
not having a good time. Babe, what were you saying?
No, that's just it. Because
Yeah.
the Macaulay Culkin face is kind of goofy, but no, this mummy looks like it's in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And the subtle, like the painting of the hieroglyphics in the background looks like legit. And I don't know how they did it, but it looks like the paint's chipping in certain areas.
Yeah.
It's just so well done. And they, on the Goosebumps wiki page, they have the line art for it. And it's just like, God, oh my God, it's all so good.
It's excellent. I would say it's the best of them.
Yes.
In terms of like conveying that this is supposed to be a horror novel. But Jacobus is it's extremely good. It's like it's its own category, you know.
Yeah.
I'd also like to note that there of the mummy merchandise, right? There are so many of them. There's the bookmark that says this book is protected by an ancient curse. I had that.
I had that as well. Yes.
There's a do not disturb sign, which says do not disturb. I'm all wrapped up.
Oh my god.
Rachel,
I
there are
actually
so many fucking puns.
had one of those, not that one, the
yeah?
you know, the ones that you stick on the door.
Yeah.
A Goosebumps one, I just don't remember. I think it involves slime or something.
Monster Blood?
It might have been. I wasn't actually reading the books.
I had I had this one, and I also had, there was a Stay Out of the Basement one.
Yes,
So
there was.
Yeah.
There is also the Halloween card, which is the mummy, and it says, "Tomb it may concern."
Oh god.
You open it. The mummy hopes you get all wrapped up in frightening fun this Halloween. I would like to say that card is bullshit. There is no fucking mummy in this book.
It's really...
It implies the mummy is a character in this book, which it is not.
There is no singular mummy in this book. Just spoilers for the book. Like the mummy on the cover, that's not like a character in the book. It is false advertising. It is kind of funny.
It's
Mario's so mad. It's so good.
Goddamn book.
I imagine
All right.
this is like kids were prepped on how to feel about It Comes at Night based on their experience with this book. Like many people got pissed off about It Comes at Night not having like monsters and shit
I
in
keep
it.
thinking of It Follows instead of, I get the two.
No, see,
confused
it
for a
followed is the thing.
Yeah. It was there. It appeared.
It would be like if It Follows had no one being followed in it. Like, all right, let's fucking get into it.
Let's fucking do it.
And let me start by saying this first of all. All right,
Yes.
Rachel, this book is narrated by your favorite and mine, and Bob's, Kirby Hayward, who narrated Monster Blood, aka Kip Fuckabout.
Kip Fuckabout's back. Also, I think his name is Kirby Hayborn.
Hayborn? I wrote Hayward. Maybe I'm an idiot.
You're not an idiot.
Well,
I'm looking at it right now. It's Hayborn. But
Hayborn, you're right. I misheard him then. Okay, well then.
no worries. Who fucking cares, Mario? Who cares? Kip Fuckabout is terrible yet again. He really captures the shittiness of everything that he did in Monster Blood. Again,
It's all here. It's all here.
the hits. He plays them.
There's so much yelling in this book. There's so
It's-
much in narrative yelling.
Oh my
That
God.
he does the, hey, look out! Oh, help me!
Watch out! It's so like once, and I know exactly when it happens. He actually screamed. He actually like yelled, and I
Is
was
it
like,
when
"Oh,
Ahmed is
fuck."
talking?
Yeah, toward the end where he gets scared by him, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, he can do it. He can actually like yell, scream, but that's the only fucking time. Everything else, Rachel, Mario's not fucking around. oh my Jesus God. He is just, there is so much, because if you think about it, I mean, if you read the blurb, you know that basically, what's his name? Gabe? He's yeah, because the nickname is Gaby, which I thought was weird. But we'll get there. He's like in the blurb, it says that he gets lost in the pyramids. Like he's just wandering around. And so you would imagine that there's going to be a lot of like, hey, where is everybody? Hello? Like that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. But it's Kirby fucking Hayborn, goddamn fuck about, being like, hey, where is everybody? Ah! I oh my God, just want to rip out my teeth. Anyway.
I think that they should have brought back the guy who sounds like Hector Elizondo from the last book.
Absolutely.
Because Hector Elizondo played a sheik in Columbo. So it would not be accurate. It would still be an inaccurate, like a person playing an Egyptian that is not Egyptian. But it would have been pre-established, sort of, in a universe where this is Hector Elizondo and not a guy that sounds like him.
Give me Hector Elizondo. I'm ready. Oh, Rachel, we should probably at some point like defrag you on like what the last episode was, because guess what, babe?
What?
You missed the best Goosebumps episode, the best book that we've done so far.
Did.
You missed it. It's truly a tragedy because your experience so far has just been like shit after shit after shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
like Monster Blood back to back with The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
That's rough.
That's rough, babe. That's Jesus. So we should probably start talking about the plot of this book instead of just cheekily alluding to it.
I know you guys hated this, but I'm kind of excited to hear how bad this is.
Oh, babe. I mean, in my opinion, like this is the kind of bad where it's fun to hear about. This is like B horror movie, like kind of just schlocky dumb. Whereas Monster Blood was just fucking crushingly boring. And this, don't get me wrong, this is boring too. But anyway.
Yeah. It's very boring.
Yes.
All right. Let's just... Okay, so first of all, I would just like to know, R.L. Stine does not intro this book, which I think is telling.
Wait. No, he has a little something. He doesn't like...
Does he?
Yeah, no, I specifically heard it. I actually have a note. My note is, first off, did they add weird stock screams to Jovial Bob's intro? I don't remember.
I don't think the version I listened to had him on it.
Oh, no, he's definitely in there. If you go on, for anyone who wants to listen along to any of the audiobooks that we're doing, they're all available for free on Spotify. And you can just go there and look at them. The one thing I would say is that he lists like every 3 minutes chapter markers. And so according to him and this audiobook, there are 64 chapters of this book, which is obviously incorrect. But it's free. It's available. You could just go on, just search for R.L. Stine, and it'll say that it's got a discography. Just look at the discography, and it's all the audiobooks. So so there's that. And yeah,
well, I guess I'm wrong.
I'm sorry, but he's definitely there. He intros it, and he does his whole thing.
Hello, I'm R.L. Stine. Our classic Goosebumps story is called The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Gabe just got lost in an ancient Egyptian pyramid. 1 minute, his crazy cousin Sari was right ahead of him in the pyramid tunnel. The next minute, she disappeared. But Gabe is not alone. Someone else is in the pyramid too. Someone or something. Gabe doesn't believe in the curse of the mummy's tomb. But that doesn't mean the curse isn't real, does it? Listener beware, you're in for a scare.
Okay, well, my theory that he was ashamed is now proven inaccurate.
He could still be ashamed.
It's true. of his work on this book.
I kind of get the vibe that he never experiences shame.
Hey, the best creators never experience shame.
Best.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, who did The Room? Tommy Wiseau? He
Oh,
does,
he does not.
He
No
doesn't
way
even
he's
know the
afraid of
word
shame.
for shame. He
Yeah,
does,
no way.
That's not in his vocabulary. Anyway, so as I said before, the plot basically starts with Gabe. The one thing I didn't say is that Gabe is a thirsty boy.
Yeah, the
Like-
first note I have is I saw the Great Pyramid and got thirsty.
Yep. Yep.
Followed by my own words. Well, okay then.
I mean,
Good intro.
that's one way to start a book. But yeah, he describes like, it went so like, what was it, episode 2? That
Episode.
of
Oh,
Star Wars?
I have it right here. I have
Yeah.
it right here. He's maybe it was all the sand, so dry and yellow. It made even the sky look dry. And then I have the note. I hate sand. It's so coarse and rough. It gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. Yeah, I'm just shades of Anakin. But yeah, so this is Gabe. He's in Egypt with his family, with his mom and dad. He is very quickly outed as being 12 years old and
Yep.
not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What was the age that his mom said that?
She says, stop acting like you're 4. ... You're 12, remember?
Remember?
Rachel,
like Sage and Di did not say ages, so R.L. Stein was like, "Oh man, I think I maybe weirded some of my audience out. Better get this out right in the beginning."
these kids got to know how old these characters are. So yeah, immediately, and then after that, we are treated to some of the fucking weirdest fat shaming that has happened in one of these books. Rachel, you missed it last time. There was some fat shaming going on with one of the characters.
Yeah.
In Say Cheese and Die, but it was like kind of like, I would say, restrained compared to this. It's so ridiculous when Gabe says shit like, Dad
They're describing the pyramid, right? And
Yeah.
and the stones used to make it, and Gabe's dad says that some of the stones weighed more than 1,000 tons. And Gabe says, that's more than you and Mom put together. And then notes, Dad is sensitive about his weight, so I try to tease him about it as much as possible.
What the fuck?
Like, I fucking hate Gabe. Like, immediately right off the bat, fuck Gabe. Like, fuck this kid. I don't care.
Okay, well then get the fuck out of my house.
Oh, you think that's funny, do you? You want to fucking drive home? You shit.
You can figure out how to get home from fucking Egypt, Gabe.
Oh, is that why he gets lost in a period? His parents abandoned him?
Well, they do abandon him, that's true.
They do abandon him because he's a little fucking shit, but they do it for reasons.
I would also point out that Bob has kindly skipped several paragraphs of Gabe being thirsty and just saying how thirsty he is and his parents not giving him water. Like,
no, that's okay. That is worth noting. There is a line where, Gabe says, "Mom, I'm thirsty." Mom says, "Not now." And I have in my notes, excuse me, Mom, but what the fuck? And then immediately R.L.
give
Stein
this
is
child
like,
some fucking water.
yeah, what are you doing? And then immediately Gabe's like, not now. I'm thirsty now. Give me water. And then he has this whole thing where he's like pretending to like lose his voice, like, oh, which Kip Fuckabout just really fucks it about right here. But he's just like, oh, I'm so thirsty, Dad. Can you get me some water? And Dad's like, yeah, did you know that the fucking pyramid is like 1,000 football fields across, huh? And then it's just like, Dad's so fat, that fat fuck. He won't give me my fucking water.
They don't nurture physically their kid. He's thirsty.
Yeah. Hey, tip for parents.
That makes
there's
a
a whole
kid-
book about
Give your
this.
kids
It's called
fluid.
There's a whole book about this. It's called If You Don't Give Your Child Water, You Blew It.
They die.
Yeah, they kind of need water. Your body needs
You're
water.
in the
so drink
fucking
that shit.
desert.
Yeah. And then it's like,
You're not just like in your house and he's being a little annoying. You're in the desert.
yeah, it's like, oh, you want me to pour you your own fucking glass? Okay, you little annoying shit. Why don't you do it yourself? But no, they're like, at one point, the mom is like, or is it the dad? One of them is like, well, we can't do it right now. And it's like they're clearly in a tourist area, like where the
Yeah.
tourists go to like view the pyramids and shit. I guarantee you that there is like a vending machine or something that charges like $10 for a bottle of fucking water, or like some fucking like faucet or something to get a drink from. And they're just like, no, you will not drink, you little shit. It's because you keep making fun of your fat dad.
His dad is way more interested in talking about the pyramids, which I understand. The pyramids are very cool.
They are.
Right? They're cool. His dad points out that the base of the pyramid is 13 acres wide.
Yes.
That's great.
Very big.
They're made of limestone.
Which, if I remember correctly, Gabe was like, his dad asks him what the pyramids are made out of, and he was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, some kind of stone. And his dad's like, yeah, that's right.
Yep. Yep. They talk a little bit about how they may have moved those blocks. No one knows. I have an answer for you, Dad. Everyone knows. It was conscripted laborers.
Yeah.
It was human
No.
backbreaking work.
It was UFO aliens and
shit.
magic tech. I watched the History Channel. Come on.
Yeah. His dad says, gives you a funny feeling, doesn't it?
I just want to say real quick,
Yeah.
one of the camels was having a coughing fit. I think he was thirsty too.
Jesus. Where's
Quote
the water?
the book.
Well, because I was going to say, his dad says, gives you a funny feeling, doesn't it? And Gabe says, it gives me a thirsty feeling.
There's so much thirsting going
I would
on.
rather pretend that instead of him being thirsty for water, that he was on the prowl.
Look at the pyramid just made him real horny.
I mean, raise the age on that and I'm with you.
one year, even.
By the way, we are so they are in apparently, according to the wiki, and I'm excited to get to the next book because there's some weird ass shit that happens in this book that I am dying to know what happens in a sequel, because apparently it follows the story of these characters.
Yes.
But I am confused about certain
They
characters in
jet
this.
set all over Egypt.
Yeah.
Like, they move around Egypt quite a bit.
They went to Alexandria, or their parents were called to Alexandria?
Their parents are eventually going to Alexandria,
Right.
I think. That's so they are in apparently Algiza,
Yeah.
which I looked up. It's actually they're like, Gabe, here is one thing that I will give R.L. Stein credit for, and that is that Gabe is Egyptian
Yes.
by heritage. Like his parents are both Egyptian.
But
They're from Michigan, but like
they're from
but-
Michigan. But did you see on the wiki the Topps trading cards for the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb? If you have not, you should definitely look those
I
up.
did briefly see them, I think.
It is one of the first. It is the first picture for the merchandise. Topps trading card number 1 for Goosebumps shows a Gabe falling through the floor of a tomb, and Gabe is a white boy with blonde hair.
Oh yeah, yes.
So-
he's quite white. He's quite white. Yes.
Guys, way to fuck that
Maybe
up.
he's like, like when you're 5% Egyptian, like according to 23andMe.
I mean,
Except that apparently both of his pairs of grandparents moved from Egypt.
Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
no, he's yeah.
adopted?
Like, I think he says at one point he is like one generation, like his parents just moved to his, or was it his grandparents?
Both parents moved to the U.S. in the 1930s,
Right.
and both of his parents were born in Michigan.
Yes,
But both of his grandparents are Egyptian,
yes,
like
Yeah,
100%,
so-
which means that both of his parents are 100% Egyptian. which
Exactly,
means
yes. I don't even-
he is also 100% Egyptian.
yes. Yeah, I didn't know why I was going down that. Oh, I think
Michigan
it was because,
didn't sneak its way in there.
Actually, it feels like Michigan totally snuck its way in there.
So,
Oh, real quick, the thing that I
Yeah.
wanted to say that was the kind of retcon that I'm interested in finding out about, according to the Goosebumps wiki. They are here for Christmas. They are here specifically.
Yes.
It is stated that this was a Christmas vacation. And apparently in the next book, that is not the case, and they retcon the shit out of that.
Interesting.
So-
well, it's not important really, except
No,
that
it's
Gabe
not.
notes that no one travels to Egypt for Christmas, but his parents are actually there on business,
Right.
Because they have to go to Cairo to sell refrigeration units,
Yes.
and for some reason,
Because it's very hot there.
Oh, that
Just
makes
take
sense.
that out.
I'm leaving that in. I'm taking out most of the dumb shit that I've said. I'm leaving in all the dumb shit that everyone else is going to say. That's how it works. I have full edit. Try and stop me. So,
okay, so another important character is mentioned here.
yes.
And that's Gabe's uncle, Ben Hassad, who is a famous archaeologist.
Yes.
He is currently working in the Great Pyramid.
Correct.
He is digging in the Great Pyramid. He's an expert on pyramids and mummies and has always lived in Egypt, basically.
He's been featured in National Geographic.
Yep. And then I see a really good joke here, a great joke, which is that Gabe knocks over his dad's books, and his dad doesn't like bending over to pick them up because his stomach got in the way.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Yep. Fuck.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
So anyway, also I have a note here. I don't know exactly. I think it comes up around this point. But did you notice the R.L. Stine subtly promoting his own work with the Indiana Jones series?
Yep. Yes.
He has the whole thing about like, oh, it wouldn't have been amazing. I wanted to be inside the pyramids too, just like going in there and taking stuff and fighting mummies and shit, just like Indiana Jones. And reminder, R.L. Stine wrote a game book called Indiana Jones and the Cult of the Mummy's Crypt. So,
I wonder how much of that pours into this specific book.
it made me really interested in finding that Indiana Jones story. And
I do want to point out, I see part of the reason I think that this book pisses me off so much is that if I were reading this as a kid, I would have been so on board with this first chapter because much like Gabe, I wanted to be an archaeologist as a kid, and I was
same.
also obsessed with Egypt.
Yes, same.
Like, big time. Like, I loved Egypt conceptually. I had all these friggin' books on it. Also, at this time, my second grade class, for some reason, like, our entire curriculum was Egypt-based. Don't know why, but, like, we had Egypt-based projects, like building, like, model pyramids and stuff.
dude, that's fucking cool.
I did that for
We're pretty into it.
fair.
We slept overnight at the local science museum in the mummy exhibit.
Oh my god, that kicks ass.
Yep.
When in this Mario canon did God damn it happen?
About 13 years later.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe more like 9. I don't know how old it was.
I just needed to-
Sometime between we're talking high school for that one. Like,
high school. Oh, okay.
yeah, that was freshman year of high school. So more like 7 years later.
So we basically from there we travel with Gabe and his parents to the hotel that they're staying at, where they get a call, an emergency call, where they
Quick note.
Yes.
First chapter ends with the words, "Little did I know that in a few days, Mom and Dad would be gone, and I would be deep inside the pyramid we were staring at. Not just inside it, deep inside it, sealed inside it, probably forever." Okay, so just in case, I think R.L. Stine knows that this book is going to be really boring. So you need to. So if he tells you now that something will eventually happen, you'll keep reading it.
it is really crazy to me that the way that R.L. Stine kind of sets that up in a more interesting way than it actually happens.
Yep.
And
Oh,
you can really tell how fucking he knows that this shit is boring as fuck.
He has to know. He has
knows that
got
it's a
to know
problem.
this book is not good.
Like there are several points in this where he is just grasping, man. I can physically hear him like stretching as far as he can to just grab onto anything that's interesting. So also on the way to the place that they're staying, it is noted. What's that?
It's in Cairo. They drive from Algiers to Cairo, which Google tells me is a 9-minute drive. So
that's a little. He makes it sound like it's much longer, but maybe there was traffic. There certainly is a lot of descriptions of traffic in this book. Like anytime R.L. Stine like has the kids go outside, he is constantly being like, "Oh yeah, no, everyone on the road. There's constant gridlock and everyone's beeping at each other constantly, and they look like they're
probably
going to kill each
accurate."
other. Which, yeah, I've never been to Egypt, but I mean, if it's anything like any other populated place, like people are at each other's throats when it comes to the traffic and stuff. But while they're driving, Gabe has a line where he says, "Hey, I really wanted to pull out my Game Boy, but Mom wouldn't let me. She wanted me to stare at the fucking Nile." So that got me curious. I was like, huh. What games would Gabe be playing right now? What's fresh? What just came out in January of 1993? And let me tell you what came out. Here are the games that he would, if he went to his local Egyptian GameStop, he would have been able to find.
In Michigan?
In Michigan, yes. Or, I don't, yeah. There's an Egyptian GameStop in Michigan, yes. Alien 3. Krusty's Funhouse, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, and Top Gun Guts and Glory.
On a Game Boy?
On the Game Boy. Those were just released that month.
Huh.
Anyway, who cares? So I'll just tell you that is far more interesting than anything that happens in this book. But yeah, we get there, and Gabe's parents are like, "Fuck, we hate this kid. We need to ditch him somehow. We gotta get rid of this. Let's just make up some fucking story about like our jobs needing to like take us somewhere. Fuck it, yeah." And so they go and tell him, "Hey, we got some work shit going on." I think specifically his dad is called. It gets a call, and then he comes out and he looks all worried, and he's like, "Oh fuck, we gotta leave. We gotta go to Alexandria." And Gabe, being the little fucking shit that he is, he's like, No,
I want to stay. By the way, he hasn't had a drink yet.
No.
Oh my god.
We'll get there. But
he says his tongue is in the size of a salami, and it's now hanging down to the floor like Elvis.
Who is his dog? Pause. Like for a minute there, I was like, was Elvis known for having a giant tongue that went to the floor? Am I learning some?
Famously, Elvis just couldn't keep his tongue in his mouth. Can we talk about this line, which I think is great?
Oh, is it?
Gabe says, "I'll say one thing about Egypt.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The Coke tastes just as good as the Coke back home."
Oh, you mean the drink?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think after that he says like, and not that new stuff either. Like,
yep. He says it's the classic kind, not the new Coke.
Yeah, not new Coke. Gabe does not like new Coke. Likes that classic shit. Also, Gabe's a fucking freak. I'm gonna steal Mario's catchphrase because he likes this fucking kid has been raised wrong because he likes ice in his fucking Coke.
What? How does
He
that
specifically says that I like ice in it because I like to crunch it with my teeth. Pro tip.
Oh yeah, he loves talking about
so
crunching
he's
ice.
also iron deficient.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
guess.
god.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
Yeah. So pro tip: you get more Coke if you tell them to take the fucking ice out of it.
Dumbass.
Stupid
Gabe,
ass.
you fucking idiot.
That's what they do at carnivals and shit. They give you like they just put so much fucking ice in there, and it's like you take
He
one
acts
sip
like
and it's
that's
gone.
a blessing. Like, oh, they gave me so much ice.
Well, I mean, it is if you don't fucking drink water.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If his parents haven't given him water in like 3 days, he's probably like, oh, sweet manna. Oh, delicious ice. This kid's just fucking like just dying of dehydration.
Yeah, so yeah, we got the phone call. Yes, his parents get a phone call that they have to go to Alexandria immediately.
Yes.
And Gabe wants to stay because he wants specifically to see his Uncle Ben.
Again, not Spider-Man. Do not.
Yes.
Every time that someone says Uncle Ben, think about Goosebumps, not Spider-Man.
So this kid whines so much.
Oh my God.
That his mom calls his Uncle Ben. And first of all, she says, I talked to Uncle Ben, and Gabe said, wow, do they have phones in the pyramid?
Yeah. It's like, and you could tell R.L. Stein was kind of like holding back with the mom character because you can kind of feel like she's going to say, what are you, dumb? And she's like, she just goes like, no. Like even Kirby Hayborn is like, what? No. You can hear it. But you're about to get to something. Rachel, wait for this. This is amazing. I love this part.
So Ben has agreed to take care of Gabe.
Yep.
Right? And Gabe says he's one of the coolest guys I've ever known, which I think many people think about their uncles, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you know, like your cool uncle.
Uncles are either extremely cool or fucking creepy. Like there is no in between.
Correct. There's no in between. Yeah. So the parents give Gabe a choice. They can take him with them to Alexandria, or he can stay with Uncle Ben. And the choice is made in less than 1/15 of a second.
Yep.
And his mom says, you should think harder about that.
I feel like she says that a lot to this kid.
You should give that a little bit more thought, bud. One more time.
But then something happens that I don't think Gabe's gonna be so excited about this.
Right, because Ben's daughter, his cousin Sari, is also on Christmas vacation, and she's staying with Ben too.
And how does Gabe react to this? By
barf.
By screaming barf and punching the pillows of the couch.
Holy shit. Give him some Coke.
He needs some
Water.
No, take the Coke away, buddy.
He needs some milk. Just like, I just love the idea of a kid screaming at the top of his lungs, barf, and then just punching pillows.
Is this like a angry at cooties kind of thing? Like, ew, a girl is going to ruin my man time with my uncle.
They have
great question.
History. That is a great question.
Their history is extensive and established with a lot of words.
Oh my God. there was a mini Goosebumps book in this Goosebumps book, and it has to do with the history of Sari and Gabe.
George R.R. Martin could fill a fucking encyclopedia with the slights that have happened to Gabe because of Sari. She is also 12, important to note.
Yes.
She is an inch taller than Gabe.
It's true.
Uh-oh.
So he's already really emasculated. Pretty. He's really pissed off about him.
She's really pretty, and she knows it, and she's smart. And she can get to the last level of Super Mario World.
Oh my gosh, she's in every way better than Gabe.
Yeah, and he fucking knows it and he fucking hates it.
Oh no, that poor kid.
Yeah. Also,
he said,
"Go ahead."
Gabe only has regular Nintendo, so he can't even practice Super Mario World.
My brother actually beat Super Mario World when he was 6.
That's
so fuck off,
Sorry,
Gabe.
Sorry.
Yeah, Gabe, you little shit. Also, it should be noted, just because it's funny to me, that in the original book, this is we listened to the reprint, but in the original book, R.L. Stein said it was Super Mario Land. So no, he fucked up and he blew it.
He fucked up, RL.
God damn it! You're not a fucking gamer. Get out of here. R.L. Stein more like, does the L stand for liar?
Honey, he's screaming.
Sorry. I'm just proving that I'm better than Kip Fuck about it, this shit. Anyway.
Gabe says if everyone around is catching the flu, she has to be the first one to catch it.
I thought that was a little much. This kid, dude, it doesn't stop. It does not stop.
He sucks. God, he sucks.
Gabe is, and here's the funny thing. Sorry ain't better. She's not that much better.
No, she's also bad.
Like they're both terrible.
They're perfect for each other. They're both awful.
Especially at the beginning. It's just like, oh my fucking God. You know, going through this again, I think I'm with you, Mario. I actually kind of enjoyed the latter half of this. But no, remembering the beginning half, I think it's either on par with Monster Blood or maybe a little bit lower.
So Gabe, despite all of this, is like, no, the coolness of being around my great uncle is worth it. So his parents just fuck off and leave him in a hotel in Cairo alone.
It is. I think I have a note about this, but it is a significant portion of chapter 2 is just Gabe waiting for Uncle Ben to show up, and it's
it's literally
fucking boring.
At least half of this chapter.
Why did he do that? You just cut to Uncle Ben showing up. Is this a word count thing?
Rachel, yes.
He sits and watches game shows in Arabic, which he doesn't really speak. He also is mad that his parents would leave him.
Yeah.
He said, "How could you do this to me? You fucking asked him to, Gabe."
It was your idea, Your
mom literally said, "Are you sure about this, dummy?"
Maybe you should think about this. And I think at one point he said, like right after they leave, he's alone and he realizes it, and he says out loud to himself, "I'm not scared."
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Aw. He's scared.
The thing is, like, this seems so fucking cool. If I were 12, I'd be like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And here's the amazing thing. Your parents would probably leave a little bit of money for you. So you'd like fuck around and like run around, like, go to the vending machines and be like, oh my God, I've got money. I could do shit.
You have a whole hotel room to yourself?
Dude.
Holy shit.
You've got a Game Boy. Like, fuck it.
You have a Game Boy with you.
What are you doing, you idiot? Anyway.
This is so this is so boring. Literally the next like 18 notes in my notes are just like, he waits in the room. He doesn't order room service. He waits in the room. He plays Tetris on the Game Boy.
There it is.
But he can't concentrate and the light was bad, which if you're playing a Game Boy, I get it.
Yeah, that's why they had those attachments, man. You got to get some of those.
And then we get to something. All right.
There we go.
Rachel, put this one in your memory banks.
Okay.
All right. Remember this. Gabe takes out a mummy hand from his jeans pocket. Okay?
Not established before, just randomly just takes it out of his pocket. Out of nowhere. He
bought this tiny mummy hand at a garage sale in Michigan. Okay? The kid who sold it to him said it's called the Summoner, and it's used to summon evil spirits.
Jeez. Is this hand gonna have? I'm assuming it is. It's gonna.
Rachel.
It's gonna make.
Rachel. This is Chekhov's mummy hand. And
be prepared to forget about it because it's never important until the end of the fucking book.
It's also kind of hard to forget about because it's stated numerous times that Gabe treats it as kind of like a stress reliever. Like this mummy
I would say it's stated maybe 3 times. Not enough times, but it is stated.
Does he squeeze it like a ball?
I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, he like plays around with it. Yeah,
he like
soft and
it's basically a fidget spinner. For like
he keeps a whole fucking hand, a human hand, in his pocket,
and I won't
at all times.
This isn't spoiling it, really. It's a legit mummy hand. It's real.
It belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
I feel like too much Coke and a lack of water have gotten to him if he thinks that this mummy hand is a stress ball.
I love that every action in this book is all predicated on having too much Coke and being severely dehydrated.
I mean, when you have too much caffeine as a kid, like it feels like your brain is vibrating.
Yeah, no, for real. Dude, my brother had too much Red Bull once, and he said he was laying on the ground in the kitchen, vibrating and just crying because he couldn't go to sleep.
I remember one time taking like a fat burner at like 6 p.m. and I couldn't go to bed till 4 a.m. and I was fucking pissed. I was just like walking across the room violently until I finally. It's not caffeine. But
Dude,
I can't
Requiem for a Dream fucking freaked me out on that shit. Like, oh my God. Anytime anyone talks about those fat burners, I just get weird because of that movie.
Like the first time I ever had an energy drink, I was studying for a test in med school and I drank one and I was sitting in the room I was studying in and I was just like, felt my body like I could feel my blood pumping. I was like,
Yeah.
what is happening? What is happening? I had to like get out of the room, like to start walking around, like around the school, like what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Like, am I gonna die?
I'm having a bad reaction to this Red Bull.
And then I had them all the time.
Yeah, no, I've had them so much that I drink one and I can fall asleep after. Like, I'm fucked up now.
That's true. He just throws them back like they're nothing.
Knocks them back, knocking
Knocking them back. I'm like, I feel like that would be impressive if it was like beer, but since it's like Red Bull, it's just, oh yeah, I'm immune to sugar. Anyway, continue.
So, speaking of knocking, right? So Gabe turns the TV off because it makes him nervous, and then the silence makes him nervous, and then he's just nervous. And
Maybe
then,
it's that fucking mummy hand.
then we hear footsteps at the door. Okay, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bullet points of how long it takes for this fucking door to open.
So egregious, dude.
Like the doorknob turns. The door is opening. The door is opening. The door is opening.
Is it still opening?
The door is opening.
Okay.
The door opens, and there's a tall figure in the doorway, and it comes into the room, and it comes closer in the room, but the lights are off, and Gabe can't see it. And then he says, "It's a mummy!"
Really?
Yeah, he says it's a mummy. It's glaring at him with round, dark eyes through bandages, staggering towards him with arms outstretched, and he attempts to scream, but no sound comes out. Cliffhanger, end of chapter 2.
Rachel,
who do you think is at the door?
who is at the door?
His uncle. Sorry.
Nailed it in one.
Yep, his uncle decided it would be a really funny joke if he just disguised himself as a mummy and showed up to Gabe's hotel room in Cairo.
I love that Sari is like right behind him.
Oh,
And
yeah, directly. And laughing her ass off.
Yeah, she's
God.
fucking delighted about this. Like she takes so much pleasure out of just making Gabe feel like a little like scared tiny boy. And it's actually
Ben
kind
also
of
thinks it's hilarious, by the way.
Oh, Ben is dying. There's a line where Ben is described as laughing so hard that he shakes the room that they're in. And
because also we gotta know, as opposed to his dumpy dad, Ben is big, tall, and quote unquote broad. I assume he's Hagrid, basically.
yeah, and when Kirby speaks as him, Hagrid definitely comes to mind. But I love the line from Sari where she says, "Yeah, I can't believe that the people who work here just let you come up the stairs like that."
Gabe says, "I was so scared that I practically had a cow." All right, Bart.
Okay.
Hello.
All right, Bart. It's just like Bart.
Exactly like Bart.
Ben flung his mummy hand across the room in this moment, which is so fucking hilarious.
Out of fear or as a weapon?
Yeah.
Both.
Ben gives it back to him, and he tells him he's grown taller. And Sari says, "Almost as tall as me." Which, all right.
Sorry, you want to lay off on just a little bit.
Ben says he just got a little carried away because he's so excited about the pyramid. And great news. Gabe is going to go see the pyramid. He's going inside the pyramid.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wait, so Uncle Ben didn't comment on the fact that Gabe has the mummy hand? You just gave it to him and just didn't even think about it?
I think he mentions like, "Oh, where'd you get this?" And then later,
I think he doesn't care about it, really.
Yeah, no, he just assumes like everyone would basically
That he stole
it's just
it.
like some. Oh yeah, no,
okay.
that it's real and it will come into effect later. No, that it's. I think he thinks that it's like a mass-produced little toy
like
thing.
a toy. Okay.
Tchotchke.
Yeah, tchotchke. Yeah.
So apparently, well, Ben says, by the way, not that like he's giving Gabe the opportunity. He just says that he literally has no choice but to take these kids in the pyramid because there's no one else to watch them. So
why did I fucking agree to this? Oh my god.
Gabe says, "Will we see actual mummies?" And Sari says, "Do you miss your mummy?"
Jesus, lady, back off.
Sorry.
Like, yeah, let the kid be excited about seeing a fucking pyramid.
Yeah.
Specifically, it is a new burial chamber that Ben has discovered. So, literally, Gabe is going to be one of, like, 7 people to have ever been in here in history. Like, in 4,000 years.
Yeah, dude. That's pretty rad.
They eat. Ben is wearing. I have this down. He's wearing a plaid sports shirt and baggy chinos.
Yep. That was odd. I don't think we get as much clothing descriptions as we usually do. Like,
way less clothing description because R.L. Stine has much better things to fill time with.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this book,
like waiting around.
Yeah, because, okay, so this just happened, and you might think to yourself, Rachel, you might think, I guess the next scene will be them going to the pyramid, right? You might think that. Nope. They go eat at the restaurant, and they talk about the menu, which is in Arabic, and the waiter brings them pita bread and green stuff. Gabe orders a club sandwich, and Sari orders a cheeseburger.
What the fuck? This sounds like a journal entry.
They get some facts about the pyramid. It was built in 2500 BC during the reign of Khufu, which Sari says Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Sari is literally Egyptian.
Sari is... Oh, my God. I just keep having notes where I'm just like, this is terrible. I hate this. I hate everyone.
Like, what is this joke? Sari literally speaks Arabic. Like,
does she?
Yes, she can read Arabic, which she brags about.
But, okay, she can read it.
Yeah, she can read it.
Okay.
I don't think she's fluent. But she can read some. But I mean, her dad's literally an archaeologist, and she lives sometimes in Egypt when she's not in boarding school. Making a joke about the name Khufu
is odd.
Yeah.
Makes no fucking sense.
But like, that will come into play later that she's not fluent.
Her Arabic, so Gabe tells Ben asks like how wide they think the pyramids are, and Gabe remembers because his dad told him earlier, and Ben is like super impressed that Gabe knows this, and he's like, yeah, fuck you, Sari, you stupid piece of shit.
Yeah, I think he's described as thinking, score 1 for me.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Sari. Ben's gonna adopt me as his favorite new son.
Sorry, not sorry.
They talk more about how the tomb, the place they're going to, is unexplored and not on any maps. And Sari says, it's very dark, you might get scared.
No, I won't, says Gabe.
This keeps fucking going. They stay in the hotel overnight. This keeps going. Gabe can't sleep. This keeps going.
It's kind of incredible how much, how much filler
they've literally just established they're going to the pyramid, and the amount of time they spend not going there is incredible. Fuck. They finally go. They finally get on the road, and they're driving over the yellow sand, and the pyramid looms over them, and Gabe's in awe of this amazing giant 4,000-year-old structure, right? They get out, and Sari says, Gabe, your sneaker's untied.
Is that it?
Yep. This is important. I want you to put this one in your memory banks, because Gabe then says, the left one is always coming untied. I have in my notes, could this be important?
Is he going to trip later?
Mayhap a setup?
Rachel, I don't know how to tell you how many times his shoelace
There's a reason I said that at the 3-sentence summary.
The fucking same thing happens at least 3 times.
It's absurd.
But wait a minute.
Made me think of when you were saying, with Monster Blood.
Yeah. Where his mom complains about his shoe. I guess he's never tying
I guess
it.
R.L. Stine heard you say that in the future.
He never trips.
It's true, yes.
So he never... What is this then? A commentary on... What is that? What? Wait a minute, okay.
His shoe just comes untied, and he has to stop and tie it. This will happen many times.
What if Mummy's chasing him, and he goes... Ah, shit, my shoe's untied. I gotta bend down. And he's constantly looking behind him while he's tying his shoe to see how close the
That would be
mummy
interesting.
It'd be way better than what happens in this fucking
That'd be a
book.
pretty good scene, yeah.
You guys, was R.L. Stein ever good?
Say
Oh
cheese
my
and
God.
die is good. Say cheese and die is good.
Okay, maybe I'll read Say Cheese and Die since I missed that one.
Say Cheese and Die
But-
is honestly it gave me I think coming from Say Cheese and Die made me think better about this one because I'm
I
coming
think that
off the high.
if we had
of
not had Say
and
Cheese and Die in the middle between this and Monster Blood, I would have quit.
Die. Yeah. Well, that and Rachel calling your favorite Pokemon a Radio Shack fucker.
I don't think I've forgotten that one because it's forever ingrained on me. The damage that has been done.
The psychic damage. Oh my god. You said it had like a shitty little Wi-Fi signal on his stomach. Oh my god, Rachel.
He does have a Wi-Fi. That's true.
It is true, yeah. He's also got an antenna. Anyway.
Man, so they go in the tunnels. Oh, let's just
book it.
Let's just get in there. They get in the tunnels. So someone, I think Sari says, you don't believe in curses, do you? You know, the ancient Egyptian kind, as opposed to like what the fuck else kind, Sari, in the pyramid that we're in right now. Like,
what do you mean, like fuck and shit and stuff? Like what?
yeah. They go in to the pyramid. The pyramid floor has got sand on it. It's cool and damp. They have to. Oh my god, they have to use a rope ladder to go down. Okay, and Gabe is like, "I'm going first because I'm gonna be the cool guy today." And Ben's like, "Nope,
No, you're fucking not.
nope, I'll do that.
I am
first,
absolutely
thanks."
going first. Oh, would you
So-
say that maybe this part is happening around the end of a chapter?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
I wonder what's going to happen.
Oh, he trips on his shoelace as he goes down and kills Sari and his uncle.
End of book.
I would like to point out that this part is actually so wild to me. So Gabe does get on the ladder, right? And
Yes.
he immediately cries out, "Ow!" because the rope isn't smooth. It's coarse.
You're not looking good, man.
He's like, oh yeah, take that one, sorry. Meanwhile, he like touches a rope and is like, owie! And fucking falls to his death.
The rope is so coarse that it cuts his hand, and he lets go and falls like an idiot.
Oh my god.
And end of chapter.
Cliffhanger.
New chapter. Sorry, catches him. Basically.
Fuck.
Yeah, is she described as like being like just like on the edge so that because it's kind of sounded like she was climbing down down the rope ladder.
It sounds like Gabe basically fell approximately 1 inch. And, like he made it like maybe one rung down the rope ladder, fell 1 inch, and Sari grabs him. But in his mind, it was like the instant death that he was experiencing.
This kid.
And then he says, "Oh wow."
Oh wow. I'm just thinking about like as a visual gag, just like a Gabe touching a rope. And then
And
just
bursting into flame.
the Grand Theft Auto 5 wasted thing coming out. And him ragdolling down like a fucking 5-foot shaft or something.
And then he gets shitty about it because he
Yeah.
thinks, "Why couldn't I have saved Sari's life? Because you went down first, you dipshit."
You
Like, that's
dumb
the
ass.
I
It's
mean,
like-
you're also a baby and a coward. You're probably
Yeah,
not
that
gonna
too.
ever save Sari.
Like, if I didn't know better, I would say that maybe R.L. Stein is trying to say something about masculinity. But
don't know.
I know better. He's not. Like it doesn't come up. If anything, it's the opposite based on where the ending goes. But anyway,
So they go down the ladder eventually, right? And they're going deeper into the earth. And Ben says, "We're breathing air that is 4,000 years old." And Gabe says, "Smells like it."
Yep.
Notice it smells like an attic. What fucking attic, Gabe?
Gabe.
It's 4,000 years old.
What are you?
Pretty old attic, Gabe.
Gabe, what the fuck? Oh my god, Gabe.
Gabe goes into his attic and he's at home and he's like, "Oh man, this attic smells pretty musty. Must be about 4,000 years old."
The reveal that Gabe just doesn't have a sense of smell. He never
And
knew.
that house looks pretty old. Probably about 4,000 years old.
Oh man, this bread that I'm eating's pretty old. It must be 4,000
4,000
years
years
old.
Sari tells Gabe that yesterday she and her dad found an empty quote-unquote mummy case.
Okay,
And
we need to talk about Mummy Case.
yeah, we do.
There is a concerted effort to not
To
say
use the word sarcophagus.
Every time, I just guffawed every time I heard them say Mummy Case, because it just makes me think of like a mummy with a briefcase. And it's, oh my God, the amount of times that they say it. And we'll get there, but I'll just stop here.
They say it a lot. They say it all the time. They basically never say sarcophagus.
Also, I'll say it here. They never, ever say the word hieroglyphics. Ever.
They don't.
They must have just thought these are too big. These words are too big.
Hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought.
Stein was like,
reading level,
every
like,
time he would type SAR C backspace
No.
CASE.
No,
Like
see,
every
this was
single
before
time.
spell check. So, but Rachel, hold on to that thought.
Okay.
Hold on to that thought because it's coming back. Anyway.
So, I noted here that this empty mummy case will never come up again, I'm sure.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Ben
No,
makes
definitely.
a great joke, which is, why didn't the mummy have any hobbies?
Why didn't the mummy have any hobbies, babe?
I don't know why.
What was?
He was too wrapped up in his work.
Hey!
Which is actually very close to the.
Oh, don't spoil it. Don't
Okay.
spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Hey,
Just cut this out.
everyone who heard Rachel say that, that didn't happen. I'm not going to edit it. Woo. Continue, Mario.
They go through this tunnel. It's very narrow. They come into a room with 4 workers, 2 men and 2 women, and some bright spotlights. One of the men is an Egyptian dressed in white with a red bandana and a mustache. He has a ponytail. He is not coming over to talk to them. He is staring at them. He does not smile or speak.
And his name is?
Ahmed. And Ben says, don't get him started on ancient curses. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, don't get me started on ancient curses.
Apparently, Ahmed is the one that told Ben that there was a curse on the pyramid and that he was risking the curse.
Yes.
And I also note right there, this will definitely not come up again.
Absolutely not. I mean, they don't name any of the other characters, but
No.
Ahmed gets a name.
Yeah.
So
Gabe actually does wonder if Ahmed would talk to him about curses because he likes hearing about curses.
yeah, in this way, it's actually kind of cool because Gabe is actually like really interested in this stuff in a way that Sari isn't, and Uncle Ben is kind of it's just his work. Like there's a genuine enthusiasm coming from Gabe, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I support that because I think that also I would have been like super interested to hear about Egyptian curses if I met such a person, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I'd also want to know.
You're absolutely going to say the joke that happens here, yes? The pun.
Yeah, the young red-haired man with faded jeans and a blue denim work shirt, the denim demon. He's got a denim shirt and denim pants. The denim demon enters and he says, "I think we're getting close, but it's just a hunch." And Ben says, "Thanks, Quasimodo."
Oh, haha. Oh no. No.
And then Sari explains who Quasimodo is.
Yeah. And then Gabe's just like, I know who fucking Quasimodo is. I'm not an idiot. I'm not a baby.
There's a very too long scene where Ben just talks about something we don't hear with a woman in the cave or in the tomb, right? That he's just talking to her and they're just talking and they're just talking, but we can't hear them and they're just talking and they're just talking. And finally, Sari is like, we should just go.
Yeah, he's just lost
We
in
should
his
just
work.
go.
And then Gabe's like, oh, I don't know. Your dad told us to stay here. Like, we can't go. We need to stay here. And what does Sari do? For the second time in a fucking Goosebumps book.
Oh, she does the chicken.
Yeah, there it is.
She does the Arrested Development full on the chicken.
100% the chicken. Like,
Oh shit.
she's like, buck, 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 oh, you a little chicken. Buck, buck.
I would also like to note that she said that she complains that Ben focuses too much on his work when they're when they're in the pyramid. And I have in my notes, imagining focusing on your work when you are working in a fucking pyramid.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, what? Really? No way.
It's almost
Oh my
like you
God.
have a job to do.
Oh, weird. It's almost like you've got people you're responsible for, and you need to make sure that things are going off without a hitch. Strange.
And so basically the chicken thing works.
Yep.
And Gabe agrees to go along with Sorry, and she'll show him the tunnels. And there's a picture of a weird cat on one of the walls that Gabe wants to see. And here it comes.
Here we go.
Gabe's shoe is untied, and he stops to tie it, and Sorry disappears.
Where'd she go?
Oh, okay.
And he can't find her anywhere, and she won't respond to him crying out. She's just gone. Cliffhanger. I literally cannot tell you how long chapter 5 feels, because about 90% of it is Gabe being unable to find Sorry and just calling out her name and then bitching about how she sucks.
Is this where the flashback happens?
Yeah. So Gabe tried to scare Sorry once by bringing her into a deserted, spooky house in his neighborhood, and it starts to storm, and he disappears, so she gets scared, but then he can't find her, and he gets scared,
And then he hears a bang.
yeah, and he gets freaked out, and so he runs home, and Sorry is already home, and she's like, "Oh well,
She's
beat you here, buddy."
She's described. Okay, so I'll just reiterate that a little bit because I think it's funny. The bang happens. Gabe gets so scared because he really thinks that something happened to Sorry. So he starts crying. He starts like weeping.
Oh yeah. Let's note that he is like crying.
He is-
pee pants baby boy.
He pisses his little pee pants baby boy pants, and he runs all the way home in the pouring rain, completely drenched through and through, sobbing, snot coming out of his nose, fucking tears coming down his eyes. He bursts into his parents' home and just goes, "Mom, Dad, Sorry's gone. I think she's dead." And then he turns around and Sorry is sitting on their living room couch eating chocolate cake with a devious smile on
Oh
her
my
face.
god.
And I'll be honest, it kind of serves you right, Gabe.
Gabe has specifically said that he did that to scare her. Like he wanted to,
Right, and it didn't work, and now he looks like an asshole.
and it backfired, and he looks like a fucking ass. So
So Gabe runs to the tunnels for way too long, and finally arrives at a large room. Okay, and at the back of this room is a mummy case, and there's a woman's face on it. Okay,
yep.
Okay.
and he says it looked like a death mask, like the kind we studied in school. What fucking
What?
school, Gabe?
Yeah,
you talking
no
about death
shit.
masks?
I'm trying. I learned about death masks in school, but I'm trying to figure out. I think that was in
I wasn't 12.
high school. Pretty sure we didn't learn about that in what is that? What is 12? Like elementary or middle school? It's elementary, right?
It's middle.
Yeah,
Or middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
middle school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine in fourth grade, their teacher being like, and then they poured the mold over the dead body's face in their last moments, preserving their lifelike visage forever.
Kids, have you seen what death looks like? Here it is. Here's what a corpse looks like. Anyway, I think this is also where Gabe describes the sarcophagus opening and it making
Yup.
quote a hiss like when you open a new coffee can, unquote.
Yes.
Another thing I don't think 12-year-olds have the context for. I guess maybe Gabe just really likes his fucking Folgers or some shit. I don't know.
Loves Coke and he loves coffee. This kid needs his caffeine to live.
Now I'm just imagining Gabe just constantly shaking, like Tweak or some shit from South Park. Just like
So this lid opens for so long.
oh god.
The lid is opening like an inch at a time, and it's fucking just keeps going, and it just, oh my fucking god. But we're near the end of the chapter, so Gabe says, "From the dark depths of the ancient coffin, I saw two eyes staring out at me."
Let me guess, it's
Rachel.
sorry.
She beat you to it, dude.
Sorry.
She called that shit before you could even ask her to call it.
Yep. So it's fucking sorry. But first, before sorry even comes out, Gabe is like, cold eyes, evil eyes, ancient eyes. None of those fucking things.
The most evil eyes.
Gabe.
The devil's
Gabe's the devil's eyes, like a doll's eyes. Gabe screams, his figure comes out, is fucking sorry, and then she's like, this is hilarious. Now he'll never be able to live this moment down, because it's just so embarrassing, as if this is not the most insane fucking thing a human has ever done in history. like what 12-year-old is climbing into a fucking sarcophagus?
I just, especially with like the way that certain scenes are described later, like, I don't know what they did to this specific one to make it like appealing for her to get into, but
Yeah, because later on we find out they're all fucking full of scorpions.
yeah, scorpions and bugs, and being in one is very bad. And I've legit felt bad for these kids toward the end. Like, I know they're not real, but
I know. Gabe pulls out the mummy hand and fiddles with it, which he does when he's upset. This will not be important, I'm sure.
no, why would it?
Fucking weird.
Gabe vows revenge, and Sorry's like, "You can't scare me." What?
Hey. Ooh.
And then Gabe fantasizes about locking Sorry in the tomb forever. And then Ben shows up and he's fucking pissed.
Yep.
As he might be fucking pissed, right? He's like, this is so fucking stupid, you dumb fucking kids. Are you fucking kidding me? I gave you one instruction, is don't fucking leave, and you go into a goddamn tunnel and are climbing around a fucking sarcophagi, you fucking assholes. And then he kicks them out of the entire pyramid.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
That's interesting, because I'm just curious, for any real Goosebumps heads, like, let me know, because the wiki considered like something that people don't really think much of, because here on the wiki it specifically says, when Gabe enters a small room, Sorry scares him and starts to laugh, causing Uncle Ben to appear. Ben joins Sorry in laughter.
So as they are walking out, Sorry is talking to Ben, and Gabe can't hear them, so he assumes she's telling him what she did, and then he starts laughing.
Ah, okay.
So,
well, there you go.
Yikes.
Never mind.
which
kind of fucking devious.
Like, I mean, I guess if you were a guy who does a lot of pranks, you maybe would laugh at it. Like,
the puns and the pranks in this book are off the charts. It is ridiculous.
So as they're laughing, Gabe calls out, "Merry Christmas to you too."
Hey, Christmas.
Hey, Christmas.
Noted.
Gabe beats Sorry twice at Scrabble. Get fucked, Sorry.
Oh, eat shit.
Eat shit. By the way, if you thought there might be some kind of fallout to the argument and getting kicked out, there is not one. They just cut to them playing Scrabble.
Jesus fuck.
Gabe orders pancakes for breakfast. This is important.
Yeah, no.
Ben has an appointment in the Cairo Museum.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next day that he has an appointment, which Ben assumes the kid would want to see the museum, because that sounds cool. I would, if I were in Cairo, right?
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Sorry is like, no, that's stupid. That's dumb. Gabe wants to save a box of Frosted Flakes in Arabic, but doesn't because he thinks Sorry would make fun of him.
Aww.
Yeah, specifically, by the way, Frosted Flakes is called out, and Tony the Tiger. Like,
Yeah.
the amount of product placement in this book.
A lot of name drops.
It's like way more than the previous books combined.
It's weird. It's
thought-
very noticeable.
Yeah, it was just, it's just noticeable. So anyway.
Ben gets a concerning phone call that two of his workers got sick last night with a mysterious illness, and they are now hospitalized.
The curse.
Uh-oh.
My
My God! Could this be the curse of the mummy's tomb appearing in chapter 6 of the book, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb?
I have in my notes, we're nearly halfway through this book and nothing has fucking happened.
So Ben is like, well, I have to go to the hospital. And yet again, Ben and Sari are left behind in a hotel in Cairo.
Jesus.
And he's like, don't leave the hotel. Ben tells him specifically, do not leave.
Don't
At
do
which
it.
point I noted that Sari will definitely leave the hotel. And immediately Sari wants to leave the hotel.
Of course.
And Gabe is like, well, let's go to the museum. And he turns the tables on Sari, who's like, I don't know about that. He's like, oh, what are you, scared? You know, we are 12. We can go out if we want.
We own this place.
We are 12. We can go out in Cairo.
We can do whatever the fuck we want.
And then Gabe says, what could go wrong?
End chapter.
In chapter. I guess that's a cliffhanger.
I get
In a way.
What could go wrong? Dun dun dun.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this chapter is so stupid. They leave. And there's a bunch of traffic. There's more fucking traffic discussion. Asari's like, drivers here lean on their horns. And they don't stop honking until they reach their destinations. And I have in my notes, you know how Egyptians be like on their horns?
That's just a thing we know about Egyptians.
White people, they don't use their horns. But you know how Egyptians be like on their horns the whole time?
You might be Egyptian if...
They do some people watching, and I have in my notes, did you know there are people in Egypt?
No.
There are women who are in jeans and women who are in hijabs.
No.
Oh my god.
Sure doesn't look like back home, says Gabe.
Okay, Gabe.
Fuck
Go back to
me, God
Michigan,
damn
you
it.
fuck.
I mean, okay, so I will say this right now. To his credit, I think that this book could be a lot more racist than it is.
Yeah, there were a few times where I was like, where are we going with this? And then it was just like tame. It was just like...
It feels to me like a pretty fair representation of like a touristy view of Egypt.
Yes, agree.
Like, to his credit, R.L. Stine did research on the pyramids. He did research on the mummies, and the stuff he says is not like egregiously wrong.
Right.
He doesn't describe Cairo as being like inherently awful in some way. The car horn thing is like whatever. Every city is like that. Everyone honks all the fucking time. And in New York too.
Everyone has traffic, yeah.
Also, the fact that Gabe and Sari are both themselves Egyptian, I think is a pretty important thing to note in this book. Like, it could be so much worse if this was indeed just a kid from Michigan showing up and being all like, wow, these wacky Egyptians, you know, like it could be worse. So that's my positive thing about this book. It could be worse.
What a review.
Gabe forgets to look at the buildings to see where they're going, which sounds like it might be the setup for something, but it is not.
No.
Because they are at the museum, and they go in the museum, and they look at the museum, and they look at mummies in the museum.
And then Gabe has a whole spiel where he's like, hey, did you know how mummies were made?
Yes, he does.
And Sari's like, no. And Gabe's like, oh, well, they do this really cool thing where they take out your brain through your nose. And Sari's like, oh, shut up.
Right out of there.
God. Oh, I'm getting sick. Gabe is described as basically knowing that this is causing like a physical reaction from Sari, and that she is
and Sari is described as being very sick.
Yeah,
like,
and quote turning green.
Oh.
As he describes like the way that they would like mash your brain through your nose and then pull it out with like a spoon. And she is just not having a good time. And Gabe is described, like his thought process is described, and he's like fucking loving this. He is like,
he is going to kill her.
I am going to
make her kill her.
I'm going to make her fucking vomit in this in public in front of all these people.
I am going to destroy my cousin.
I am going to give this kid a childhood trauma that she will not be able to get over soon. But oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say real quick before we move on. Do you think R.L. Stine actually went to Egypt? It kind of feels like he did for this.
I kind of think he did.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised to know this is based on him being there.
Because it's got that personal commentary. Like, who's gonna constantly comment on the traffic?
Yeah, and the description, especially at the beginning of like the touristy aspect of it, like
Yeah.
all the people in the various languages that everyone's speaking, and
Yeah.
just like that kind of, it really feels like he was there and had the experience, especially
To
with
his
like,
credit, if he was not, he's a pretty descriptive writer to be able to make me think that he was.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
credit where credit's due.
I have here in my notes that this is a good time to talk about how mummies were made.
Ah, yes. If Rachel starts turning green, I'll let you know.
Oh my god, yes, please tell me. All right, Rachel, he turned green. Then I'll consider this a success. All right, so decomposition is a combination of two processes, autolysis and putrefaction. Autolysis is when your cells break down naturally because they can't all the enzymes in them burst and they dissolve. Putrefaction is when bacteria come in and start chewing you up. Okay, these two things decompose a body. And if you want to preserve a body, you got to stop both of them. Okay, mummification is in fact a naturally occurring process. You don't have to do anything to make a mummy. Many people are mummified if they are left in cool, dry locations. They will mummify. I have seen many mummies in my life.
Like famously, like cavemen in like cold, dry areas will accidentally get mummified.
Yep, you can freeze dry them. Also, there are bog mummies. There are mummies that are pulled out of like peat bogs because the peat preserves them. But also, like just people left in their houses will mummify. I have seen mummies because of that.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Mummification, the process, basically involves removing the moisture from from tissue, to mitigate decay. So the first Egyptian mummies, which are not the first mummies ever, because those are from the Chinchorro culture, which is now Peru and Chile, or Chile, appear in the record at 3500 BC.
Wow.
And just for some perspective, because this like blew my fucking mind to read this point, as it's something you think about. They continued making mummies for like the entire course of the Egyptian empire, right?
Right.
Which was 2,000 years.
Wow.
Like Egypt was a major power for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you don't think about that when you read it like in a history book. Like they were as long lived as anything. Like
Yeah, it's really, really impressive and interesting. I strongly advise people to go to even just like the Wikipedia, which I'm on right now, and just look up the all of the lengths of like the early dynastic period, the Old Kingdom, First Intermediate period. It's really fascinating to just like realize how not only like how long ago this was, but just how long these periods lasted for. It's really really interesting.
So mummies they are expensive, and they were basically you had to be you got to be of a certain social status to have a mummy. So in Egyptian culture, they believed that for a person after a person dies, they go on a journey. Okay, their spirit goes on a journey, but their body has to be intact to do that. So it was very important that their body be preserved. Okay, there are no Egyptian texts that actually say how mummies were made, because all their texts that we have are them describing the rituals around a mummy, not the process of making one. But some Greeks did describe it. Now that may mean that we're filtering through another culture,
Right.
But they weren't like making fun of it, so they were pretty interested in it, as a subject. There were three kinds. There was an elaborate method, which was reserved for the very rich. And this is the one where they removed your brain. So they shoved a metal tool up your nose. This is where Rachel can start turning green if we want to monitor this point. And they basically mashed the brain up with the tool. Like they mashed it up into like a paste, and then poured it out of the nose. Like it wasn't so much removed as a whole, because you can't do that through the nose. It wouldn't make much sense. But if in liquid form, they could just pour it out. And then they filled the skull with resin to preserve, to keep the skull free from bacteria, basically. And then they cut open the abdomen and pulled out all the organs from the abdomen, and they pulled out the lungs. They left the heart in, because Egyptians believed that the ancient Egyptians believed that the heart was where what did what the brain does. Basically, they thought the heart was where the center of the person was. Mm-hmm. So it's very important that stay intact. It's an interesting point, because I mean, brains decay really fast. They are really sensitive to not having any oxygen. They'll liquefy very quickly. So it makes sense to remove it fast if you want to prevent decomposition. And obviously, like, your abdomen is full of bacteria because your colon is full of bacteria. And like, as that breaks down, all that bacteria just gets released. And that's where a lot of the actual like putrefaction comes from, because suddenly all the gut bacteria in your flora in your gut is just like out and doing its thing everywhere. So it's an interesting observation on the part of ancient Egyptians as to like, what is the stuff we have to get rid of for this to work. The organs get put in jars. Those are full of a special salt called natron, which is soda ash and baking soda. Which is specifically a very alkaline salt, which turns fatty tissues into a hard substance. So this is why they were so successful at mummifying them, because in addition to the jars full of salt, they also just drenched the body in salt for about 40 to 70 days. So that body had like no moisture left in it. And then they smeared it with resins and oils, so it smelled nicer and couldn't grow bacteria. And then they wrapped it in linen, which also had the resins in it, to make sure the linen didn't come off. And then they would just... Then at that point, the corpse gets interred by relatives. Basically, the way they modified it for price stratification was that, like, if you were doing the affordable method... the less expensive one for the middle class, they injected a liquid from cedar wood into your abdomen and then put a rectal plug in so it couldn't come out. And that liquefied all the organs inside of you, so they didn't have to pay for the jars.
Nice.
And then they put the salt on and they did the same thing. And then they pulled the rectal plug out and all the gross shit inside of you just drained out. And there's absolutely no information on how the poor people's version was done, except they gave you an oil enema.
Sweet.
And they don't know what else. They didn't describe what else happened. But that's how mummification worked. Now, Rachel, did you feel sick?
No.
I can confirm she is not green. She is a amazing mocha color, which
God
is amazing. I will say that I am now hungry for some beef jerky. Anyway. I will also say that Rachel, we are the
book is about to technically start.
Yes.
Okay, because technically we are about to have a story.
Rachel is aghast. Her mouth is agape.
I was just like, this is what an editor's for. He's like, RL, listen to me. You've got this habit of just like waiting till like something close to the midpoint to begin your shit. Okay? Like, if I was an editor, I'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to get ready to cut the first 5 fucking chapters because motherfucker, like, doesn't happen later. I don't...
Yeah, why doesn't this book start in the fucking pyramid?
Yeah. One of the most egregious things of this book is that we are in the pyramid, and then we leave the pyramid, and then we come back to the pyramid.
He just focuses on this, like...
in the pyramid.
Exactly, on this interpersonal, like, drama.
Yeah.
And like what they ate and shit.
And no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. Like, there is a good book here where they just stay in the pyramid and they encounter, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here, like traps or something.
Yeah.
Or like any number
Or a fucking mummy, perhaps?
Yeah, a fucking mummy, man. Holy shit.
There's so
Monster
many.
Blood had monster blood in the fucking like middle, like around the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like Monster Blood's bad, but at least it had monster blood in it.
We have had not one, but 2 fake mummy scenes.
Yep. Yep.
Come on, man.
RL.
And here, and I'm gonna tell you one thing. Rachel, you're gonna love this one because the monster of this book appears now. Okay, in the museum.
Yep.
Because before Gabe can talk about what happens to the guts, Sari looks over his shoulder and is shocked because she sees Ahmed.
Hey, Ahmed, how you doing? Now, if
From the
Rachel,
pyramid.
If you were a kid and you met someone previously,
Yeah.
and you were given
This
their
scene is
name,
so bad.
and you know who they are, how would you react upon seeing them in public?
Hi, person's name. How are you?
What happens in the book?
like a normal interaction. Like,
A normal interaction. You're a normal person. You're a normal kid. You're like, oh, hey, I know you. Hi, how you doing? Sorry, and well, I almost called him George. Gabe, scream and run.
Okay, I guess because I was a fearful kid, I could have done. Actually, I think I actually kind of did do that with my own dad. Actually,
well, okay, but let me hit you with this one.
I was also
because
like
Ahmed
6.
jogs after them.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Okay, see?
Shouting at them angrily.
Yeah, like, what do you, hey, come on. And then when
They keep
go
they
ahead.
keep running and shouting and like running and cheesing it, and Ahmed's like continuing to shout at them like, "Come back, come back,
Wait, you're doing a too good job yelling. You gotta pull that back for Get
come
Fucking Up.
back, come back."
There you go. There you go.
I have in my notes. $20 says he wants to help them because they are cursed or something.
Yup.
Now
Absolutely.
I was wrong.
Technically, you are
However-
wrong.
Oh.
However, in the context of this chapter, I was right.
No, you were. Like, I was thinking the same shit, and that's why the reaction from Ahmed when he finally catches up to them is so fucking funny, because R.L. Stein knows that too. Like, R.L. Stein is like, why am I having these kids running? So by the time that Ahmed catches up to them and he's cornered them, and they're both like,
His eyes grow wide in triumph.
yes. But he basically is like winded. He's got a stitch in his side or something. And he's like, and he just keeps asking, why did you run? Why are you running?
Bob, you've jumped ahead a little bit because
Oh, my bad.
this was the cliffhanger, was that he had them cornered.
Yes. I'm so sorry. That is meant to be a cliffhanger. And then the reveal that why
And then he's like, why are you running?
Why are you running?
Possibly literally. He's like,
Oh my god.
yeah, he has like a stitch in his side. He's like got a cramp.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a message from your father.
Yeah, and Sari's like, oh, so he saw the note. He came back from going to the hospital, and he saw the note that we left for him that we went out to the museum, and Ahmed's just like, yep.
It reminds me of the scene in Austin Powers where Will Ferrell's character is dropped into the death pit. And he's like, I am still alive.
I'm still alive.
No, I'm fine. still alive. It's like, this is the way, the way he sounds in that clip is the way I imagine Ahmed sounding now. Because Ahmed sounds like dejected. They ran away.
Yeah.
He's like, I just don't understand why you ran away from me.
Again, you're doing too good of a job. Like, oh man, Kit fucking.
He sounds so sad that Gabe feels bad about it.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh man. So then Ahmed has he's like, hey, yeah, we need to go back. Your dad's looking for you. Basically, your dad sent me to come get you guys. So we need to go back to the hotel that you're staying at. And so he's like,
at this
follow
point,
me.
I did note I am now a little suspicious.
Yes.
Like, I definitely did not think there was any direct threat to their lives whatsoever, so the cliffhanger was pointless. But at this point, I'm getting that stranger danger vibe.
Yeah, I literally said out loud when he was like, "Oh yeah, follow me, we're going." And then it's subtly hinted a little bit as they're like going out, and the kids realize like the hotel is right there. It's just 2 blocks
needs him
away.
His car.
Yeah, he needs to go
He's
to
like,
his car.
we're gonna get in my car and drive.
Right. And so, they're like, okay. I mean,
Red flags.
I literally said out loud, oh, stranger danger.
And then they're like, oh, well, we could just walk though. And the book notes that he places his hands firmly on their shoulders. This is obviously now a trap.
Yep.
This is now, yeah. So, this is the weirdest little moment. Some fucking random passerby in Cairo beans Gabe right in the shoulder with his briefcase.
And he just goes, ow, fuck. I think he's described as like close to tears when that happened.
Jeez.
Like
This guy's just swinging his briefcase in front of him as he walks.
Well, better they hit the briefcase than me. Bam.
Like, what the fuck?
Fucking jerk.
They get into a 4-door station wagon, and I was like, somebody call the dad from Say Cheese and Die. Ahmed's got a fucking sweet ride.
Oh, you missed that whole conversation, babe. I'm so sorry. Oh, man. You weren't around for car.jpg. The most immaculate car.jpg.
The seats are very hot in the car.
Yeah.
They're leather seats. And Ahmed, in this moment where he is definitely kidnapping these children, says they should invent a car that stays cool inside.
Ahmed's cool under pressure. Also, I love that he's described as like touching the steering wheel 3 times in order to get acclimated to the heat. He's like, ow. Ow.
Ow, ow. So Sari wonders why Ben didn't come to get them, which is a good question.
Yes, absolutely.
And Ahmed's like, well, he's waiting at the hotel, which is a weird thing. Why would he be waiting at the hotel?
Why wouldn't he just come out and get them himself?
So they begin driving, and Gabe knows that they are driving away from the hotel, because Gabe knows that he has always had a really good sense of direction. Like, he almost always knows when they're heading the wrong way.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Get lost?
He gets lost multiple times in this fucking book.
Considering this whole book is it's like the whole premise of this book is about him getting lost in a pyramid.
The summary of this book says that he is lost in a pyramid. No, I'm good with directions. I know where I'm going.
So Ahmed tells them to fasten their seatbelts, which he does threateningly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they realize that Ahmed is kidnapping them. Cliffhanger.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. What do you think happens next, Rachel? What do you think the resolution here is? And I'll give you a hint. It's more exciting than anything else in this book.
I honestly don't know where this is going.
Ahmed told them to buckle their seatbelts. We end, I believe, the chapter on basically them getting ready to buckle their seatbelts. How would you...
Okay, well, if it's R.L. Stine, that means the next chapter 2 will describe how they're stuck in traffic.
Well, that does happen. You are not wrong there.
Yeah, you're totally not wrong. But what would being stuck in traffic afford them the ability to do?
To get out of the car.
There you go.
Cool. Good stuff.
So they do some action movie shit, and the next time he stops, they jump out of the car. Okay, and they then run. They just book it. They book it through the streets of Cairo. They're running around. They're doing a lot of running. Then I have a note in my notes right here, which is, hey, is there going to be a mummy in this book? They keep running. They lose Ahmed. And then Sari's like, but there's only one problem. We're lost.
And Sari's described in this part as being legit, like, dejected and upset and, like, on the verge of tears because she's just, like, it's really getting to her at this point. And meanwhile, fucking Gabe's over here like, oh, this is my chance. This is my chance. Oh, I can finally be... Meanwhile, real shit's happening. They were just nearly kidnapped. And he's like, oh, I'm a fucking badass. I can't wait to be a hero.
Oh my God.
Gabe, shut the fuck up. But to his credit, he is providing some like comfort here because he's basically Sari's like getting close to just breaking down, and Gabe's like, no, we're okay. Like, I don't think we're that lost. I'm good with directions. All we need to do is ask someone where to go. And Sari immediately goes, no one here speaks English. We're not going to be able to ask anybody. And this is the moment where I was like, sorry, what? Can you not speak Arabic? Like what?
So it sounds like she's not fluent, basically.
So, yeah.
But I feel like she could say, where is the hotel? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just,
you know.
yeah, like a common touristy thing is to just say the name of a location. And pretty much everybody will be like, oh, yeah, I know where that is. Especially like tourist hubs and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
So,
also, you're in Cairo. Someone speaks English.
yes.
Yeah.
Someone here does speak English.
Yeah, I remember there was a part where I think they were going to the museum, and Gabe was just fucking shocked that the lady at the desk spoke English. And I'm just like,
it's a
Gabe,
museum.
It's a fucking museum, you dipshit. What are you talking about?
And she's the front desk worker.
Exactly. Like, do you think that you're the only tourist ever to tour around? Like, what? Shut the fuck up, Gabe. You and your ridiculousness.
But Gabe uses his head, all right, and he sees a taxi cab.
Yep.
And he gets in there, and he asks him to take him to the Cairo Center Hotel, okay? Because taxi drivers would speak English. But the taxi driver begins to laugh.
Why is he laughing?
Cliffhanger.
Oh,
That's what?
the chapter ended.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And specifically, I think, was this before or after the chapter ended where Sari goes, he's working for Ahmed.
That is after the chapter.
It's after
That's the
okay.
start of chapter 10.
He's working for Ahmed.
Which, what?
Yeah, I was immediately like, what?
That
Sorry,
paranoia is
hold on.
starting to kick in.
Yeah, that's when okay, she's really like kind of nervous and upset.
I was like, if this is real, what the fuck?
Yeah, for real. Like the crazy luck that Ahmed has a partner who just happens to have who is
waiting in a taxi cab,
who is not like servicing any other patrons, and the kids just happen to run into that specific taxi.
But don't worry, it's not that stupid.
Nope.
It's stupid in a different way because the driver says the Cairo Center Hotel, and Gabe's like, yes, and he looks over and points directly across the street where the hotel is.
Fucking God.
So at this point, I began thinking, wait a minute, hold on. They said that Ahmed was driving in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I thought the same
But
thing.
he clearly wasn't.
Yeah, they're so close. Either that or the traffic is just so shit that they didn't move at all.
Yeah.
It's insane. I don't know.
It sounds like what it sounded like to me at this point, because I was giving Ahmed the benefit of the doubt, was like, I guess maybe he just saw there was a lot of traffic and had to move his car around it.
Yeah.
But didn't, and that's why it looked like they were going in the wrong direction. Like, sometimes there are one-way streets, so, you gotta go the opposite way before you can come back around. In any case, they're like, we have to tell Ben about Ahmed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And they go back to the hotel, which is right there. And Ben hasn't been back to the hotel, which, no fucking duh.
It was so crazy when Sari comes in and looks at the paper. Clearly, no one, her dad isn't there. No one's touched the paper, and she balls up the paper and goes like, "So Ahmed was lying," and I'm like, "No shit, you." What the fuck? Obviously he was lying. He just tried to kidnap you kids. What the hell? Anyway, some of these kids are a little slow on the uptake, but
well, but it gets worse though, because then the door opens and they scream, and I just wrote, "Why did you leave the fucking door unlocked? Like you unlocked the door of your hotel room 5 minutes after a person tried to kidnap you."
Also, why? Okay, I understand why they went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
But don't you think that the first place Ahmed would look is the fucking hotel? If he
Right,
really
the first
wanted
place.
to get you guys, he would just go there. Like, you already have the note there. Your dad knows, just stay in a public space. So if someone comes and kidnaps you, you could scream and people will be like, "Oh, that doesn't look right." I don't know. I'm overthinking it, obviously. I'm nitpicking. I'm doing
It's fucking stupid.
But it's just so
fucking dumb. At least lock the fucking door.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. And don't scream when someone like opens the door because it's clearly your fucking dad who has the key.
It's like they put this fake out in. This is now the second fake out in the same fucking chapter.
Yeah. It's rough, baby.
Oh my god. And Ben comes in and tells him that like both of the workers are like catatonic and they're scared speechless. And Sari's like, listen, shut the fuck up about those dead people. I don't give a fuck about them.
I don't care.
Ahmed tried to kidnap us, and Ben is somehow more angry about them going to the museum than he is about the fact that a guy he knows just tried to kidnap his child.
That blew me away. It's just she's describing like Ahmed, and he's like, but Ahmed had amazing references. How could he possibly have wanted to steal you guys? And then like, yeah, he caught us at the museum, and he's like, fucking what? You went out of the hotel?
Excuse me?
Fucking excuse me?
Well, I have to say you were asking for getting kidnapped there.
If you don't want to get kidnapped, don't go out in public.
So Ben is going to go back to the pyramid, and he intends to leave them alone in the hotel room again.
Oh my god. That was again just like, oh my god, are all the adults in these books just absolute? And he's like,
but it's
idiots.
too dangerous to take you to the pyramid. And I was just like, there is a police-shaped solution to this problem. Like, have you considered that you literally have a person who tried to kidnap your daughter? You know who he is.
You know his name.
Call the fucking cops. like, listen, I know police ain't great, and I know it's Egypt, so probably the police are even worse. Like if I had to bet, you know, I bet that probably they're not good there either, right? But I think that if you told them this guy tried to kidnap my child,
yeah,
they may investigate it. Just maybe. It's definitely better than leaving your kids unattended in a hotel room where the kidnapper knows they are.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. Oh my god.
But then Ben is like, well, you're right, that's too dangerous. I'll take you to the pyramid where he is.
Yeah. Oh Christ.
And you might think they go to the pyramid. But instead, they have sandwiches in the hotel restaurant.
Padding.
Oh, God.
Word count, baby.
Word count, baby. Get those characters in. Then they go to the pyramid, and Gabe remembers the first time he saw the pyramid, which doesn't feel long enough ago to make this flashback necessary at all.
Nope.
You know? Like... you don't need a flashback. He's only been in the pyramid once, and it was 4 chapters ago.
Yeah, there's a really good Mystery Science Theater joke. I forget which one it was from. I think it was maybe Werewolf, but it was, hey, you don't need to flashback to things that happened 5 minutes ago. So,
not enough has happened since the first time he saw the pyramid to make this flashback feel necessary.
Right.
Because specifically nothing has happened since he last saw the pyramid. Ben's dad gives Sarah and Gabe pagers.
Yep.
To page him.
But they're not just any pager. No.
They're homing pagers.
They're homing pagers.
What does that mean?
It means that if you press a button on the pager, it emits an electronic signal that can be detected by a device that Uncle Ben has, so he can find you in mere seconds.
Wait, why did he leave them alone?
He didn't. He's trying to keep the kids together.
He says, I don't expect you to need them because you won't be leaving my side.
And not like a page later.
I feel like you did expect them.
Gabe also checks to make sure he's got the mummy hand. I just want to note that.
Yes, absolutely. You got to make sure you got
In case you forgot that this mummy hand's important.
And I forget.
He remembers to check for it.
Does his shoe come untied as they're going in? And
yes!
while they're... Okay, all right. His shoe comes untied twice.
So just a reminder that he does have the mummy hand. You might have forgotten it because the last time you saw it was 7 chapters ago. But
let's
it
be
hasn't
frank.
been important yet.
Let's be frank. How can you possibly forget that this kid has an actual real mummy hand that he uses as a stress ball?
Well,
in
I'm
his
sure
pocket?
for no reason it's set up that the mummy hand is there.
No, why would it? That's ridiculous.
They go in the tunnels and like literally like 5 seconds into the tunnel, Gabe's shoe is untied again. It's literally like R.L. Stine remembered that he mentioned the hand and the shoe being untied in the first chapter they were in the pyramid. And he was like, oh, but then I didn't do fucking anything with either of those. I better remind everyone that these 2 things happen a lot. Gabe puts his flashlight down to tie his shoe and immediately fucking loses Ben and Sari in the pyramid.
Like, he yells after them to be like, hey, wait up. But they can't hear him because they're loudly arguing with each other about something. And I'm like, okay.
And like, how loud?
Yeah. Not only that, but like, okay, fucking Gabe, just don't tie your shoe here. Just keep
Wait
going.
a second, Gabe.
Like, tap them on the shoulder. Let them know that you're going to tie your fucking shoe and then tie your shoe. Like, oh my God. It's so funny. It's so ridiculous.
And like, Gabe is right behind them.
Yeah. Like, how long does this... He says that he double knots it. So maybe double knotting it takes like, I don't know, 10 minutes.
But they don't reply to any of his shouts. End of chapter, cliffhanger, I guess.
Yep.
And then he starts like running after them.
Yeah.
And screaming. And they still do not respond.
It's like as soon as...
Did they teleport?
As soon as Gabe got out of like earshot, they just booked it. They just started running.
Like, all right, look at this vicious fucking kid. Gabe literally thinks, could this be another practical joke?
Why?
Are you fucking serious?
I don't blame him if he gets lost that quick, if people lose him that quick, and they're not responding. Yeah, I'd be like, oh no, they pulled a prank on me.
You know, that's the other thing about these books. The pranking shit happens so much, and I feel like there's never any real comeuppance for the prankers. Like, there's never any like boy who cried wolf,
never.
any of that shit.
Yeah.
Which
Also,
I don't
just
know
like,
if that
okay.
sends the right message, but anyway.
No. But let's just think about this, right? If you're Uncle Ben, right, and you have 2 children in this pyramid pursuing a kidnapper who tried to maybe kill them, right? Mm-hmm. And you literally said, don't leave my side, okay?
Yeah.
Even if you got into an argument with your 12-year-old daughter, right, would you not, like, turn around even once?
Dude.
Or maybe stop moving?
For me, I wouldn't even... Like, no kid is going to be... In that situation, they're not behind me. They're in front of me. I'm keeping my eye on them all the time.
Also, yes. Yeah.
There was a time... I wasn't in a pyramid. Actually,
Oh, right.
It would be amazing if you had been.
I don't know if this is similar, but I was like in kindergarten. My mom was walking us to school, and for some reason we were crossing a street, and I decided to close my eyes. And I thought, no, I'll be fine crossing this street because my cousin's with me. She's like 3 years older than me. My mom is with me. They're gonna like, I don't know. I'm just gonna be, I don't know. Like my mom's gonna look out for me. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you did the kid equivalent of a safety fall.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
crossing the street and my eyes are totally closed. And I'm like, wow, I haven't felt a sidewalk yet. I feel like I've been doing this for a while. I'm going to open my eyes. I open my eyes. There's a car like a foot away from me to my right. And they're not blowing on their horn, but the lady's looking at me like, hello? Hi. Like, she recognizes that I'm just a child. My mom and my cousin did not notice what I was doing on any level. My mom and my cousin are already on the sidewalk across the street and are like zipping it toward the school. And then that's when my mom turns around and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? So yeah, so I guess it depends.
You did.
Well, all right. Rachel has point to R.L. Stein because
This has happened. This is a thing.
I would argue that this is maybe the best time ever to use the buddy system, but but I guess point made.
It is known to happen. I feel like you describing that, I just imagine you basically did the same thing that one. It was a girl in a TikTok who was with her friends at like the mall, and she said that she just stopped. And she was like, I'm going to see how long it takes for them to notice that I'm not around. And they just keep going. And they never turn around to see that she stopped. Oh, my God. Anyway.
But here's another point to consider, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gabe has a beeper.
Oh, that's
true.
That's true.
Let me tell you what he doesn't do.
Well, Mario, here's the thing. If he presses the beeper, he's just going to look bad to Sari. It's going to prove
That's right.
that he's
She'll
a
laugh
coward.
at him because he got scared.
Yeah, and he's not scared. He's a big boy.
He's a
he doesn't
brave
get
boy.
scared.
So instead, he just pointlessly continues shouting for them. And then he realizes he is scared.
Yep.
Okay. And then he says they have to have realized I'm not with them. Which, okay, so use the fucking beeper so they can find you. And then he finds a branching path, at which point I would absolutely fucking stop moving.
Yeah. It's
But
like,
nope, he arbitrarily chooses to go right.
hey, right,
And says to himself, keep moving, you gotta keep moving.
Gotta keep moving.
Which the exact fucking opposite of what you have to do.
If there are any children listening to this podcast,
If there are any adults who get lost in pyramids a lot,
the one thing you should do when you get lost is stay still. Just pop a squat.
my God, tie your shoe.
Tie your shoe. Yeah.
Triple knot it. Fuck.
Oh my God.
Gabe hears what he thinks are voices. It's a chittering sound. Get ready for this a lot. At this point, the word chittering is going to come up about 1,000 times.
Yes.
Is that an insect or is it a rat or something? Which, like, a rat?
A rat.
You think that the pyramid that's been sealed for 4,000 years is full of rats? Like,
I mean,
like, what are the rats eating?
the bugs. Or the other rats.
Gabe finally decides to use the beeper.
Does he decide? He decides to use it. He doesn't actually.
Okay. That's right. Okay. So over the course of about 4 paragraphs, probably, his neurons fire in such a way that he gets the idea that the beeper both exists and can be used. And then he thinks, if I use the beeper, something will happen. And then he sends the nerve signal to his hand to touch the beeper.
But the chattering and chittering gets louder and louder, and suddenly he points his flashlight at the ground and realizes what the sound is. The ground beneath his feet is crumbling and giving way, and before Gabe is able to use those neurons to activate the muscles in his hand to then go and press the button, he falls through the floor.
Holy shit.
And there's a lot of falling, and there's multiple sentences of falling.
Yes.
Which is a cliffhanger, I guess.
Here's the thing about this cliffhanger. It's fucking bad. And there's a really easy way to make it better. He is described as falling, and he falls, and that's the cliffhanger. Then it picks up in the next chapter. He is continuing to fall, lands really hard. And I'll just say, R.L. Stein actually does a pretty good job describing when characters feel pain and get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I've noticed this a couple times, especially in like Monster Blood as well, where whatever that guy's name was getting punched, like the waves of nausea. And with this one, it was like, he describes it as like waves of, like, I think he said heat, or like his vision turned red and kind of blurry.
Yeah, he sees red,
Yeah, and then he kind of passes out. Then he wakes back up nearly instantaneously. Don't you think that it would be a better idea to do the fucking cliffhanger when he gets knocked out?
Yeah.
And he loses consciousness and then pick up the next chapter when he wakes up? That would have been very funny if that chapter happened when he was falling and then when he loses consciousness.
Let me just tell you, this chapter ain't very good because
No. No.
he wakes up and he smells the smell of decay, of ancient dust, of death. Gabe, how the fuck do you know what that smells like?
His attic,
Gabe.
man. His attic. His 4,000-year-old attic.
Maybe the mummy hand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I guess he could sniff that hand, that's right.
Yeah, he's constantly
He sniffs the
sniffing
hand
that
a lot.
hand, dude. That's how he
Yeah,
knows.
that's fair.
Oh, my God. I just realized that this kid smells like shit. Oh, my God. He's just walking around and everyone hates him because he smells like a fucking corpse.
Well, I gotta tell you that mummies,
Or ground.
I mean, they do
or-
smell. They do smell. I will
Okay.
tell you they smell. But not like a corpse.
I may have jumped the gun on because I was really enamored with the idea that this is the stinky kid.
They smell very musty. He probably smells very musty.
So he definitely has experience.
So Gabe's flashlight shines around the room and it lands on a human hand hanging from an arm, which is hanging, I have a note here, stiffly from an erect body.
Yeah.
Is he thirsty again? Just kidding.
It's a mummy. It's a mummy has finally appeared in the fucking book.
Yes, yay.
Hooray.
What chapter are we on?
12.
A lot.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
But here's the thing. The mummy is there. It's standing up at the back of the room. It's staring back at him as if it's ready to make the first move. Cliffhanger. The mummy is just a regular fucking mummy. It doesn't fucking do anything.
It's just standing there.
Wait, how long was that chapter?
Too long.
Too long.
Makes it sound like a parrot. Like he fell,
Yep.
then he gets up and he sees a mummy hand,
Yep.
and then a chapter end.
Now imagine that taking 40 sentences.
Fuck.
Gabe just kind of stands there like an idiot for a while, and he looks at the mummy. He's like, why is that mummy standing up? Because that's not what Egyptians did with their mummies. They put them in sarcophagi.
No.
Right?
No.
Mummy case.
Put them in mummy cases.
Thank you. Get it right.
But Gabe calms down because it's not moving. And then he realizes that he's in a big chamber and it's fucking crammed full of mummies.
Yeah.
There are lots of mummies in here, and they are described for a while that there are many mummies.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
If
I
only-
did at this point, if this chapter was chapter 3,
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Totally right.
Absolutely.
the room is full of mummy making equipment as well.
Mm-hmm. Which is even cooler.
Which is even cooler. This is like a place where they made mummies.
Yeah.
Also, for some reason, the chamber has a fucking tar pit in it.
Yeah. Just a tar pit. Hi. Okay.
And Gabe is confused. Why is this tar pit like liquid after 4,000 years? Why is everything here? All the mummies look really good. Like they're really well preserved. And he's like, what the heck's going on in this chamber? But he realizes this is like a huge discovery because this is like a 4,000-year-old mummy making chamber he just found. That's amazing. And then finally he pushes the button, or he reaches for the button, the beeper, and then he thinks about pushing it some more, and then he finally pushes it.
Jesus fuck.
But the beeper is broken.
Oh no! What's he gonna do now? I'll tell you what he's gonna
Cliffhanger.
do. He's just gonna cry. He's just gonna scream and cry.
It's a cliffhanger, but not really, because like nothing happens, and then like he just freaks out because he's alone in a room full of mummies. He's like, "Oh, the mummies are closing in. Oh my god, they're all around me." But of course, they are not doing that.
But there is a pretty cool thing that happens where he describes where exactly he has landed, which is right across, because he's hearing a noise again. And he's feeling stuff, like, I think he's feeling stuff crawling on him or crawling near him.
In this chapter, yes, he does feel that. Yes.
And, you know, I mean, anyone who's a fan of, like, mummy stuff or, you know, famously The Mummy, would probably be like, oh, it's probably like, the scarabs and stuff,
My brain went to that scene in Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, which
Absolutely.
is an excellent movie.
Absolutely.
Where the scarabs get into that guy's skin.
Oh, yeah. That's good shit.
And like start crawling around all over his skin. If you haven't watched The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, please watch The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. It's a great movie.
It is what many would describe as a perfect movie.
I would say it's a perfect movie, yes.
The Mummy and Mad Max Fury Road are perfect movies to me. Also, potentially True Lies. Anyway,
So what's he across from, Bob?
Rachel, when you think Egypt, what bugs do you think of?
Bugs?
Bugs.
Oh, I don't know.
What if I told you that he was in front of a pit of scorpions?
Are scorpions bugs?
Yeah. Scorpions are
Well,
bugs.
they're arachnids, right? So
Yeah, but you would call a spider a bug. You call spiders bugs all the time, babe.
Oh, I don't know. I thought scorpions.
Yeah, I got you on a technicality. This is
guess.
amazing.
and I guess they're not insects. They're not insects, but but bug can be.
This is incredible podcasting. I'm so
listen,
glad I
You
emphasized.
come here for
this.
the you come here for the intellectual debates. Right? Scorpions
man.
are a predatory arachnid. So
I'll just say here,
We don't-
I'm way more scared of a scorpion than like a scarab or like a beetle.
oh well,
or,
scarabs
like-
don't do anything.
or even-
They're dung beetles.
Right, but they're just exactly. Scorpions, they're built to like dish out pain,
Murder.
They're built to kill you.
Like few animals on this earth look so clearly like, oh, this thing kills.
Yeah, this thing is built for battle. This thing is
This thing looks
meant
like it
to fuck
fucking
you up.
is a murder machine.
It's got pincers, it's got claws, it's got armor, and it's got poison in the tip of a very sharp tail. Dude, this thing is fucked. So
This scene goes on for a while,
Yes.
and apparently, so in the dark, Gabe just feels all these things crawling all over his feet, like all over him.
Yep.
Okay, and they're scratching and scraping all over him, and he drops his flashlight and he bends down to pick it up, and like something scrapes over him. Which here's the problem with the fact that Gabe then freaks out when he sees that they are scorpions, right? Because he's literally put his hand.
Yeah.
In the scorpion pile, and nothing happened.
right, like they seem docile to.
Like they
I
definitely
guess.
don't give a shit
Yeah,
about Gabe.
they sense his weakness.
So also he talks about like their claws snapping. I don't think you can hear
no.
scorpion claws.
They're
I don't think
lobsters.
that's how that
Yeah.
works.
Oh my god, scorpions the size of lobsters. Jesus.
Also, the thing about scorpions that makes them scary to me is not the claws. I've got to tell you,
Yeah.
RL. Like
yeah, like I've been.
there's one component of scorpions that is very much the thing I think of when I think
Yeah.
of scorpions.
Especially when you're alone in a fucking pyramid and no one's nearby and you can't call for help. Like,
Yeah.
you get poisoned,
Yeah.
you're fucked. Like, the scorpions or snakes would have been very effective here. But yeah, anyway. Well, the scorpions are very effective here. Anyway, continue.
But don't worry about the scorpions, gang, because what happens next? A pair of hands grabs Gabe by the shoulders. Cliffhanger. Rachel, who do you think it is?
Uncle Ben. No, sorry.
Yep, you got it. Got it in two.
No, I meant sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
love
See, I did it again. God damn
Did it
it.
again.
I thought.
Did it again.
I
God
thought
damn
you.
it.
All right.
Gabe thinks a mummy, in which, like, obviously it's not. But then he says the ancient bandaged hands grab my shoulders.
Yeah.
Again, they are not bandaged. They are normal human hands because it is sorry for fuck's sake.
He's got cold brain.
I can imagine someone trying to do this, like doing a TV show version of what the book is doing, where it's constantly describing shit that isn't real, that isn't happening. So you would have a scene where a pair of mummy hands go to grab him from falling into the scorpion pit, but in the very next scene, it's like a continuity error where it's just sorry, and she's just like, "Hey, idiot, I saved your ass for the second time." It's just constant continuity errors again and again and again, just to fuck with you.
So Sari is like very mad because she's like, Gabe, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why did you wander off like that? And he's like, I did, and you guys. And then, but she's like, well, and then my dad stopped to talk to a worker and got separated from me. Which, like, who is in the pyramid right now? Why are there other people in the?
There was a line specifically where Uncle Ben said that he sent everyone home for the day.
Home, yeah.
And yet there was someone in there for him to talk to. I don't get that. Anyways.
Because as established, 2 of his workers are fucking comatose.
Yeah. And he's just like, yeah, no, we can't really get too much done today anyway because you guys are probably just worried about your coworkers. So let's take 5.
Sari says, what a day. And Gabe says, what a day. Which, yeah, I mean, it is a little bit more than a day. It's like this is... they have a very dumb fucking argument about, like, Gabe leaving or whatever. It's so fucking stupid. Yep. It's, like, not even his fault, even though it is kind of. But,
yeah.
Like, and then, like, Sari's like, whoa, look at this fucking wild chamber full of mummies. They're all very impressed by the mummies. Sari gets grossed out because there's bugs on one of the mummies' faces. Mm-hmm. Also, Sari notes how tiny people were in ancient times. Just the second time she's done that in this book, actually.
Yes. Which may be cool, depending on how, like, we'll talk about it in a sec once the things happen, but that might
have implications if you think about it.
Exactly.
We'll get there. They talk with the beeper for so fucking long. Sari's like, you forgot your beeper, didn't you, Gabe? No,
okay. Just click yours. Okay.
And then they hear someone coming, right? And they're like, oh, Uncle Ben, hooray! But Rachel, who is it? Do you think?
I don't know. Ahmed, his
it's
parents.
Only one other
3 for 3.
Is Ahmed
nailing it? You're nailing it.
Yep.
Okay.
It's Ahmed. It's
Absolutely,
Ahmed.
Just hitting it one after the other.
He's here. Ahmed is here. He found them because he did. Chapter 16 cliffhanger.
God, fuck.
Sari's like, Ahmed, what are you doing down here? And Ahmed's like, what are you doing down here? Ahmed is like, I tried to warn your dad about the curse, and Sari's like, I don't think he takes that seriously. To which Ahmed says he should, and it's supposed to sound threatening. Definitely does not. Thanks to Kip Fuckabout's way of doing Ahmed's voice. Which sounds like he's trying to do like Jafar or something.
I literally thought the exact same thing. I was like, is this supposed to be Jafar? What the fuck?
Have any of the kids asked Ahmed why he tried to kidnap them?
I don't think they need to because we're about to get the evil villain. Like,
yeah, he's about to explain it.
Okay.
This is the dumbest part of this. Okay, so all right. Ahmed keeps talking about a fucking curse and how it must be carried out, and that they violated the priestess's chamber.
Yes.
That this chamber belongs to the priestess Kala, and it's a sacred preparation chamber of the priestess Kala, and they have violated it. He says this same sentence like 4 times. And then they're like, I don't really get the fucking big deal. They literally said, I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah.
And he tells them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's funny because he screamed, like, Kip Fuckabout, like, kind of screams for Ahmed here. But the funny line that happened was basically they ask, he's like, oh, you violated it. And then Sari just goes like, we just fell down here. We haven't, and then Gabe's like, we haven't even touched anything. Like, what? We literally I just saved fucking, Gabe from falling in a pit. What's the big deal? You literally just came in as we were looking around. Anyway,
this is interesting too, because right now it is established that Ahmed's motivation for the things he's about to do are that the kids have violated this room.
Yes.
I want to note that right now. So, and he says that apparently he was trying to keep them away from this room that he said he frightened the other two workers who are now comatose. He frightened them to show them the curse was alive, which is not how curses work.
No.
And then he says he gave them a demonstration and he showed them what it felt like to be boiled alive.
What?
Okay.
Right?
I have questions.
Me too. Does that mean that he boiled them alive?
Yeah, like what? But they clearly would have known if they were boiled alive at like the hospital. Like, why are they
right? Because they didn't say they're burned.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, they're comatose. It's like what?
Out of fright.
That's what I was thinking.
Because he basically directs their attention to the boiling tar pit.
Right.
Which, what?
I guess looking at a boiling tar pit makes some people go.
Did he bring them to the tar pit and show them the tar pit and be like, now think about what happened if you went in there?
I'm gonna do that.
And then they went comatose.
And they're like, oh.
Yeah. And then, okay, he says that basically it was decreed by the priestess Kala 4,000 years ago that no one could come into this sacred chamber. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, from generation to generation, her descendants have made sure that has happened. That they have not been able, that anyone who came in has been cursed. Except that this is not what a curse is. Like, it's not a curse if it's just a guy murdering you. That's just called murder.
I guess serial killers are really just curses if you think about it.
Like a mummy's curse is like a supernatural thing, right? Like,
right.
To me, in my mind, when you say the curse of the mummy's tomb, I think, like there's gonna be illness and plague and accidents, weird accident starts happening, right. That kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But
in this book, a curse is a guy who is mad. It should be called the curse of the angry guy. So Ahmed volunteered to work for Ben because he wanted to keep the chamber safe, which did not work at all.
Nope. Kind of fucked that up.
In any way. So he did a bad job. So really this is fucking his fault. And then he's like, he said he frightened the workers so Ben would stop, and then the exact same day he kidnapped the kids so Ben would stop.
Yeah.
Okay. He was gonna kidnap them and basically force Ben to stop.
Yeah.
But they're like, but that didn't work, so now he's got to carry out his sacred duty. And the kids are like, what does that mean? And he's like, what does it mean? Look around you. These mummies are all violators of the priestess's chamber. So only a few of these mummies are actually old.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Which, thinking about what we just learned about the size of some of these mummies.
Right. Now.
Yeah. Okay, there are a couple ways.
He's just a child killer.
That seems to be implied.
Well, he or his ancestors, because not all of them are from him, apparently.
Right, exactly.
He has done some.
He specifically says he's done some. But also, it is implied, it seems to be, that some of these people are, some of the mummies are kids. But there's also a line that he said, there could be an out here, because there was also a line where, I think it's coming up, where he says hey Gabe, some of the pharaohs weren't that much older than you. So if this, if maybe a pharaoh or someone, did a violation of the tomb or the curse or whatever, and maybe they got.
I think it'd be pretty
kid though,
big-headed to murder a fucking pharaoh, but
yeah, exactly. But it seems to be implied that we got some child killers on our hands.
So he basically says that the curse is that all the violators are mummified alive.
Yeah.
That ain't a curse.
That's not a curse. But the problem with that also is that he implies that he does the whole mummification process, right?
Yes.
Which kills you.
Right, yeah.
You're not really mummified alive, you're just murdered.
Yeah.
If you survive to the point where someone sticks a thing up your nose and scrambles your brains, you're not alive for the rest of it.
Like the mummy in the movie The Mummy starring Brendan Fraser is mummified alive.
Right.
He is put in a tomb,
Yes.
in a sarcophagus, and wrapped in linen and left there. Like, he is mummified alive. That happens.
Yes.
This is not what that is. So Ahmed has like a dagger, and he's approaching the kids. Cliffhanger. Next chapter. They back away, and Gabe cries, "Yow!" because he backs into a mummy.
I forgot about that part. It's so good.
Gabe is like, "We should both run. Sorry, he can't get both of us." Which, like, okay, but that implies he can get one of you. Which, like, what the fuck?
That's the same logic that we used on Area 51. That whole event.
Oh,
They
yeah.
can't get all of it.
Yeah. Well, they don't have enough bullets to shoot all of us if everyone raids Area 51.
Yeah.
And Naruto runs past the fucking gate.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is like, no, they absolutely do have enough bullets. But anyway.
I would love it if the next scene was Gabe Naruto running past Ahmed.
I just want the next scene to be like, okay, he can't catch both of us. Good luck. And then
Which is also, okay, Ahmed has a dagger, right? Like,
Right.
not a gun.
Yes.
So he has to be close to catch you. And two, you've actually already outrun him.
yeah.
Yeah.
You did this already, and in that case, you only got caught because he reached a dead end. You could run for fucking ever in here. Like,
Yeah. Wait, Mario, are you saying that it could be possible in this situation where the setup of Ahmed getting a stitch when he ran after the kids would
yeah.
pay off?
Could be brought back. Yeah, it could pay off. Yeah.
But it doesn't.
No.
Okay.
No. So then Ahmed says, like, there's no escape from the curse because he saw them get in a sarcophagus and play in the chamber earlier.
Yes.
Right? Which, okay, it would make sense if the prank came back to get them, except that he just said the curse only applies when you come into this chamber.
Right.
That's not where they were.
Like now he's
No, he's just mad.
yeah. Now he's just exacting petty vengeance. Like
Yeah.
the curse of the guy who's slightly annoyed that you kids had fun in his pyramid.
And then suddenly a rope ladder appears and Ben enters.
Hey, here he is.
And he's like, wow, this is an amazing chamber. And the kids have to, like, point out that they are currently being attacked by a man with a knife. And Ben... So Sari goes, he's going to turn us into mummies. And Ben goes, is this true?
Yeah, like he wants to hear Ahmed's side of the story. Like, he's got a dagger. He's slowly approaching your kids. Your kids already told you that this
He
guy
tried to kidnap them.
Like, what the fuck, Ben? God damn it. And then
He literally tries to talk it out.
yeah,
Like,
he
he's
approaches.
like, we're both scientists, Ahmed. We can talk this out.
I love that Ben's so hung up on like Ahmed's references, like they were so good that he just cannot believe, even when Ahmed has a dagger in his fucking hand, that Ahmed could be bad. Like he just can't believe it, to the point where he gets so close to Ahmed that Ahmed just takes the fucking torch that he's got, fucking dual grips it, and bashes Ben across the fucking head, knocking him unconscious.
Holy shit.
Severely freaking out. Sorry.
Yeah, Gabe says the torch hadn't set him aflame, which, people don't just combust.
I love that
Fireworks.
Gabe thinks that humans are just made out of like oily rags. One match will just light them up. Oh, this is a good point to talk, Mario, about. So I hear that spontaneous human combustion is real and a thing. Is that true?
Oh my god, don't fucking do this. Oh, fuck.
Anyway, maybe that's a topic for
Fucking
another
hell.
episode.
I'll just say it right now. Spontaneous human combustion does not fucking exist. It does not exist. Literally, every fucking case of spontaneous human combustion can either be completely easily explained by the fact that they usually occur to like 80-plus-year-old people who are sitting next to like a fire with a bottle of alcohol in their hand.
Oh, that's so mundane.
Or there's like one, like the BuzzFeed Unsolved on this or whatever I was listening to. No, it was My Favorite Murder. They were talking about it and it made me very mad. But they referenced some story about like a fucking knight in the 14th century catching on fire. Yeah, it's a story from the fucking 14th century.
Yeah.
No one fucking knew shit back then. Also, it could be made up.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, do you trust your sources on this one, guys? See, for me,
Like the source is a story some guy once said. Oh, yeah, well, definitely that makes sense.
absolutely. Also, do you know about werewolves? They're totally real. Okay, couple things about this real quick. Stuff You Should Know also did a episode on spontaneous human combustion, and I thought it was so fucking funny how they were both sidesing it. It's like, well,
There is no both sides.
Exactly. I love that they were basically like, well, you know, the proponents of spontaneous human combustion say that it's this, this, and this, while the opponents say that it's just all bullshit and we shouldn't believe it, and giving it the time of day is kind of misguided. Anyway, what's the real truth? You make up your own mind. Goodbye.
Oh my God.
It's like, oh no, what are you doing? Also, the other thing I'll say is that I feel like you feel about spontaneous human combustion the same way that I feel about ghost hunters and spirit orbs.
I feel similarly about ghost hunters.
But specifically for me, spirit orbs. Whenever any like ghost hunter is like filming something and they see like a light object floating in front of the camera and then gradually floating out, it's like, oh my God, it's a fucking spirit orb. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a fucking thing of dust. You goddamn
It's a dust
idiots.
mote.
It's just dust. Like, do you have any idea how many times I've filmed shit randomly in the dark and there is just dust floating and it's a big thing of dust.
Literally everywhere people go to ghost hunting is full of fucking dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And then, anyway, I digress.
I'll just note this point. I'll bring us back on topic by saying that my first sentence for chapter 18 is, can we please just finish this stupid fucking book? Gabe says the whole scene was crazy and terrifying. Oh my fucking God.
Really?
Ahmed, so Sari like yells at Ahmed and he throws the torch for some unknown reason, which sets the tar on fire.
I think
Which seems bad to do.
I think he did that on purpose. Because there's references made later where he's like he says that he's waiting.
He wanted the tar to heat up.
Yeah, to heat up so that he can do something with it. Like I guess boil them alive.
Maybe it sounds like it happens because Sorry yelling scares him.
Yes,
because like whoa,
he just drops it in the pit and's like, yeah, I meant to do that.
Shit. So he's like, we have to wait for the tar to boil before you can become mummies, I guess. Like, which,
sure,
no, but okay. Again, if you put hot tar on someone, they're gonna die. So not mummified alive if you use hot tar. Ahmed drags Ben across the room, and I have a note that the narrator yelling is so bad in this scene. It's so bad.
Kip, you truly fuck about.
Kip. Gabe says he'd already knocked Ben unconscious. There is no telling what he would do to us. He's going to fucking kill you, Gabe. like, Gabe, he has literally told you what he's going to do to you.
Oh my God.
Ahmed puts Ben inside of a mummy case.
Mummy case. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so here's where the mummy case comes back. There is specifically a line where Ahmed says something, I think it's actually around here, where he says like, oh yeah, get in that sarcophagus.
Oh yeah, okay.
There is one use of the word sarcophagus once.
Well, Ahmed is a kind of a,
But then immediately after that, R.L. Stine refuses to say the word sarcophagus again. He goes mummy case, mummy case, mummy case, sarcophagus, mummy case, mummy case, mummy case. I was tickled to death about that. Anyway.
So they get inside of the mummy cases, right? So then he puts them inside of a separate mummy case, okay?
Okay.
Ben isn't, this is important. Visualize this. Picture this in your mind, okay?
Got it.
Ben is inside of one mummy case.
Mm-hmm.
Separate from this mummy case is another mummy case, which Ben and Sari get inside of. Okay? He closes the lid. I at this point wondered why we are even doing the tar thing, because you could just leave them inside of these sarcophagi and then they've been mummified alive, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
A bunch more fucking cursive collar bullshit happens. There might be bugs in the sarcophagi.
There are definitely bugs in there, yes.
Yeah, so the cliffhanger is them getting inside of it.
Yes.
All right. Sari gets in the case first, and Gabe says she always had to be first at everything, but this time I don't mind.
Wow.
Great.
Cool.
So good.
Jesus.
Gabe's like, I'm just a kid, and that's when it's like many pharaohs were your age at death, which, like, okay, not the same thing, but all right. Yeah, they didn't get fucking murdered. Like,
yeah, true.
I mean, some of them probably did, but Gabe gets in the sarcophagus where he finds that Sari is maybe praying, which is like, this is upsetting.
Yeah. See, this is where I'm like, when I'm listening to this, it's just like, oh shit, this is starting to feel like
yeah, so
shit,
this part
fuck.
of the book, I do think, like I said, I think I messaged you about it, feels like actually pretty intense.
Yeah.
And I kind of get why they wouldn't adapt this for TV.
Yeah, this seems pretty fucked.
This is like pretty heavy for kids. Like, Gabe and Sari basically contemplate their impending death like at the hands of a murderer.
Yeah, I think
as they get crawled all over by bugs in this tomb. Sari literally says, I keep imagining how he's going to reach in and pull my brain out through my nose. Why did you have to tell me that, Gabe?
Gabe's like, oh, sorry. And then
they push on the lid, it won't budge.
Yeah.
Gabe flashes back to when he was a mummy for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
And the wrapping unraveled, but now I'd be a mummy in a mummy costume that would never unravel.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Of note, Gabe's legs start falling asleep, and the case is so big they can both lie down. I get the impression that this sarcophagus is fucking huge.
Yes. There was specifically a line, I think it was Gabe, who said like, oh, this was one of the sarcophagi where it was not just for the person being buried, but also their possessions and their all their stuff. So it's gigantic.
It has to be about the size of a fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
Because they then hear a scrabbling sound in the case with them, and they say something bumped into the case. Inside the case, something bumps the wall, okay?
Uh-huh.
And they say, was there a mummy in the case with us? How? Gabe, how would you have missed a whole adult mummy?
I swear to Jesus, like this kid, like could be leaving for school and like his dad forgot the keys and like goes back into his house and jiggles the doorbell as fucking Gabe is about to leave, and he could be like, a mummy.
The amount of time Gabe spends worried about mummies is extremely awkwardly proportioned to the amount of mummies that are actually in this fucking book. Then he says, it can't be a mummy, it's a large bug. Again, those are, what the fuck, Gabe?
Large bug.
How big of a bug, Gabe, are we talking? A fucking 8-foot tall bug?
Also, I just want to point out, for a kid who's terrified of mummies, he's got a fucking mummy hand in his pants pocket.
Well,
Yeah.
Bob, we're going to come back to that mummy hand in a minute.
That's true.
So, the thing creeps closer, and it goes, hey. And I was like, holy shit, is a mummy fucking talking right now?
Oh my god, top fucking 10 Goosebumps books. If the mummy
this book would have skyrocketed if the mummy had just been like, hey, what's up? What's going on?
Hey, you guys in trouble?
You guys moving in? Nope, turns out it's Ben.
Oh, wait, how did Ben get here?
Ben reveals that there are secret escape hatches in all sarcophagi.
Which, okay,
in case the pharaoh's soul needed to get out.
okay, is that true?
There are doors in, because like sarcophagi are actually like, there's like the case itself is built around the coffin equivalent. Like
Right.
when they unearth mummies, they're like in layers of ceiling. Like,
Right.
there's usually like a wooden box they're in, and then a stone sarcophagus, and then inside of that is the decorated sarcophagus. Like, so there are layers of them, and the big boxes like can be disassembled. Like, I mean, like, because they have to put the thing in it. Like,
Yeah. It's just he also
but
calls them trap doors. So it was just like,
he says,
what?
yeah.
Okay.
But even ignoring this point, which doesn't make any fucking sense, Ben got out of the sarcophagus that he was in,
Yes.
and then entered their sarcophagus, and they did not see this happen.
That's along the lines of like when Sari like showed up behind Gabe to like help him.
Because when Ben then tells them to follow him out of the sarcophagus, they specifically say there's a rectangle of light through which he crawls.
Yes. Like, I just there's man, it's just so rote, or it's just so like weirdly characters
Contrived.
are just
It's like-
weirdly oblivious at this very specific times when they need to be in order for a scare to happen. And
So
it's,
apparently Ahmed left the room, by the way.
yeah,
He
I
just
guess
like fucked off for a while.
he needed to check his emails or some shit. I don't fucking know.
He's in a fucking pyramid.
Like, what is he doing?
What else does he
He's
have to
literally
fucking
said
do?
that he's waiting for the tar pit to liquefy, and he's just like, it's like watching water boil. It's just I can't stare at it. It just won't boil if I do that.
Do you think he went off to go scare that other worker?
Yeah, I totally forgot about them. Whoever they
Who
are,
is notably not being put in a sarcophagus.
they escaped.
So they get out. Okay. Ben has a bruise on his head and it's bleeding. Sari has chewed on her lip so hard that it's bleeding.
Yes.
She was so scared. And instead of climbing up the rope ladder to get out, Ben decides they should just run because it'll be faster. And what do you think happens next?
I have no idea.
As they start
You have
running
no idea?
down a tunnel.
If they're trying to escape, and they take the route where it should be noted that this is the only exit in the room. The only exit that isn't the fucking rope ladder that Ben climbed down. That
You're getting at the ultimate event, Bob. What I mean is, so they're in a tunnel in a pyramid, and Gabe is there.
Oh, yes.
What do you think happens next?
He ties his shoe.
Yup.
Ding, 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 ding,
His
ding.
fucking shoe comes untied again. Take your fucking shoes off.
No
Gabe.
shit.
Step on the scorpions, man. Fuck it.
But yes, as Bob was pointing out, this is the only entrance or exit to this room. So of course Ahmed is just like in the tunnel, and like,
He's just
and
like,
instead of
what are
like
you guys fucking doing?
running, and like just fucking tackling him, they all stop. And Ben does the fucking we're both scientists, can't we talk about this like rational people again?
Jesus Christ.
Like, I was at this point like, okay, it makes sense for Ben to be like, oh, I'm a quote unquote man of reason, like kind of pacifist as character who's just like, oh, we can reason this out, we understand. But Ben is also described as being a fucking behemoth at numerous times.
Yeah,
and
he's
he
a
is,
giant
like,
man.
stacked.
Yeah.
He is like good to fucking go in terms of
He can definitely take this.
he could deck this guy, but again decides not to. To the point where he and his children who are under his wing are backed to a fucking corner where they are about to be boiled alive in a tar pit.
At which point I thought, so much for the fucking curse then, huh, Ahmed?
Yeah.
I guess the curse didn't fucking matter, did it? I also wrote that I would like the Tom Servo end sound effect to begin playing.
Yes. On loop.
There's so much time spent talking about how bad the tar smells.
Yes.
Wasting time. Gabe says that to steady himself, which is he puts his hands in his pockets.
Yes.
Not how steadying yourself works. That's the exact opposite of that, actually. And he feels the summoner And so he pulls out the mummy hand for no fucking reason.
And again, for no fucking reason, he raises it above his head.
But nothing happened. Cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, nothing happened. And then
Cliffhanger. And then Ahmed screams in ancient Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "The hand of the priestess."
What the? In Michigan? In this little boy's back pocket?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it was fate.
Yeah, fate did it. It's fate's fault.
So behind Ahmed, the mummies all come to life.
Where do you think he picked up this hand in Michigan? Like a yard sale?
Yeah.
Literally a yard sale.
Yes.
Literally a yard sale.
It is stated that he got it from
A kid at a yard sale.
We used to shop at yard sales all the time. Like, you could buy shit literally for like pennies. So I imagine he bought this for like 10 cents.
At yard sales, did you frequently see the severed human hand of a mummy from ancient Egypt?
No, clothes. Mostly knickknacks.
From a tomb that's been sealed for 4,000 years. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, how did this get bought?
RL, hey, Jovial Bob, what the fuck is this?
Who gave him this fucking writing gig?
Like, what the fuck, RL? Like, this is bad for you even.
for you even. Oh my
Is this
god.
why people thought that he had a like ghostwriter? Because it's just all over the place.
Yeah, and I will say that there are other writers that are credited with doing Goosebumps stuff, but that comes later. I think the core series.
I don't know. Book 5. Book 5. I think we're still on RL directly.
Yeah, I would wager that that's the case. The books that I'm talking about are more like the short story compilations that happen later.
Oh, okay.
So Gabe cries out no for some reason, as if this is worse somehow, as if like the mummies are a worse problem than the fact there's a man trying to fucking kill them. Like,
Oh boy.
I don't know, but the mummies finally exist in this book and are doing something. They come back to life. Their muscles grown, which okay. Now, granted, not all these guys are ancient, but like mummies don't have those.
They don't
like
really.
there's no
Yeah,
muscles
it's
left
not-
on them. But also Gabe's like, these ancient mummies are moving, but as established, they're not ancient. These aren't.
Nope.
Ahmed, explain this, Gabe. They're not that old. A mummy's approach. Ahmed throws the torch at the mummies, one of which catches on fire. Which, all right. I was like, this is okay. I'm interested in this. The mummies keep advancing. The flaming mummy grabs Ahmed by the throat and lifts him into the air. They all gather around and hold him over the tar.
Oh.
I'm like, oh my god, okay.
Hell
Now, Rachel, Gabe closes his eyes. He can't watch this event happen. Okay? What do you think happens to Ahmed?
I mean, I want to say that he gets
You
thrown in
wanna
that
say.
tar pit, but there's just no way that he gets thrown in the tar pit.
This is Goosebumps,
Nope.
a series for children.
I'm betting Uncle Ben saves him
Oh, that's a good guess.
because he's such a.
And it maybe in a better book it's exactly what happened. But instead, Gabe opens his eyes and Ahmed is just running away.
Oh my! Whoa, that's bad.
Agreed.
Fucking bad.
Yep. So apparently at some point the mummies just gingerly put him down and said, okay, bye.
Maybe like wrangled free or something and like fell and yeah. This is really disappointing.
Yep. I would say maybe the most disappointing thing in the
Guess
book.
what, guys? We're not done yet.
Oh my god, you're right. There's an even worse thing happening.
Oh my god.
So the day is saved thanks to a thing Gabe bought at a garage sale in Michigan. Gabe like closes his eyes and opens them, and all the mummies are back in their original spots. So he wonders if he imagined the whole thing, which I briefly thought like would make sense if Ahmed just ran away, like if he just got like hallucinated. That
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, he's been hallucinating this entire story.
But no, it did really happen. Gabe confirms that it did happen. And then Ben says, "Thanks for the helping hand."
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Then we just fucking cut to an enormous dinner in Cairo as they are talking about what a great adventure they all had.
What the fuck?
Wait, there's more.
Yeah, this book keeps going. Ben's like, "I had no idea how special that mummy hand was." You're a bad archaeologist, Ben. They go back to the hotel where Gabe falls asleep. They wake up and have breakfast. Gabe plays with the mummy hand some more, and then for some unknown fucking reason raises it above his hand and chants some bullshit about like raise the dead. Why you would do this, I don't fucking
He's
know.
like, evil spirits, I command you to come to me. Come now. Heed my
Is
call.
he pranking?
He's like messing around, but fucking
No.
why? Like I got
So suddenly,
yeah.
a knock on the door.
Oh my God.
Who could it be?
The owner of the hand, the lady mummy.
Oh, you!
It's
Oh my
his
gosh!
parents.
You know what? That would be so good. That'd be so good if it was that.
Rachel,
The door opens and two shadowy figures enter the room. Two figures.
It's his parents.
yeah, you called it earlier when you were like, "Oh no, it's his parents." Obviously, this book doesn't even have the decency to end on a cliffhanger and be like, "Who were those? Who like the knock on the door and then someone trying to get in?" And it's like, "Oh, what's that?" Then end your book right there. That's it. You want to end on something ominous that's about to happen.
I mean, would we care by this point?
No,
Because
but
the
at the
book's
same
so
time,
bad.
do you care more that it clearly shows you that it's his parents at the very end? And then it's even weirder because the audiobook starts the creepy music that ends all of the audiobooks.
Yeah.
And it's like supposed to end on like a creepy, like ominous note. But no, they just, asked a question and then answered it. And then the creepy music ends. It's just like,
Oh, it's so fucking
so
bad.
God.
It sucks so much.
We did it, y'all. We made it through.
Talk about this.
I'm starting to get angry.
Why?
I remember Goosebumps just being a big deal. And I was like getting really tired during all that because it was so boring.
No, yeah.
So bad.
It's extremely boring. It's so boring.
Yeah, I mean, Goosebumps is a series of highs and lows, and so
Apparently,
so far,
I mean, like again, I gotta say, Seiji's and Dai fucking rocked it.
yeah,
Fucking
dude, I am so
rocked
sad
it.
that you missed out on that one. That one was
Excellent
just
book.
a joy.
I would say Welcome to Dead House is pretty good.
I'd say-
Actually,
I think Stay Out of the Basement.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. It's
Though-
just we've had a few stinkers.
This one's a fucking stinker though. Like
I don't know.
This is either the worst or the second worst for me.
this one sucks.
Think it's just
rating. I'm gonna patent to review it right now. Okay. Relatability. Like one. Like I'm sorry. I wish it was more relatable.
I think that I can
I
definitely.
mean, I liked Egypt, so
True.
maybe like a 3.
I can definitely relate to kind of the fish out of water aspect, which they didn't really like kind of hone in on.
Do anything
Yeah, they did
with.
nothing with it. But I can definitely relate to being a kid and getting lost and just, not knowing where my parents are and just being like, oh, fuck.
I guess.
So for me, it's a little bit more
Except
relatable.
it doesn't
that
like
way.
it doesn't do that much.
No, it really doesn't.
Like-
It's a shame. It is a crying shame.
I'll be generous and say it's like a 4.
Okay.
Scariness, actual scariness. I mean, the bulk of it is not good.
Right.
But the end of it is scary.
Yes. Specifically, there were a couple lines in there that I did not make note of at the time, but there was a line from Gabe where he says like, basically he's kind of thinking to himself like, oh man, what am I going to do after this whole stuff ends? And he's like, wait, no, Ahmed's going to kill me. There's nothing after this. and it's just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that sucks. And then Sorry praying and being completely like devastated, and then Gabe being like, oh man, I thought I wanted this, but I really don't. Oh, which
Okay, here's how I'm gonna.
they should have gone
I'm gonna
more
do
with that.
this. Okay, so I got this. There are 21 chapters in this book.
Yes.
The part where Ahmed shows up and does anything starts at chapter 16. All right. So, I would say then there are I'm going to score it 1, 2. I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it a 5.
There you go.
I would say every one of those chapters earned a point of scariness. Like,
Okay.
but not enough to make it good. The R.L. Stein factor, the goosebumpsiness of this is, I mean, the highest it possibly can go.
Absolutely.
There's 21 chapters. It's at least like a 30. Like it's every chapter has a dumb cliffhanger. Every chapter is a fake out.
Do you
have fucking more than one?
Do you include puns in that rating?
Probably so. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably should. So it should be higher.
Somewhere between 30 and 50. Whatever the fucking highest number. At the end of this, there will be no more R.L. Stein book than this.
I'm sure.
I fucking hate this book.
So there is one thing that I wanted to mention before we get out of here. I noticed that this book was doing something that I think a couple other books did or will do, where I'm gonna call it like the inverse Scooby-Doo, where we remember when we were predicting what the twist would be in this, and we were kind of like looking and all that stuff. And I kind of said like, oh, it'd be funny to be like, oh, it's Scooby-Doo. And like, you know, the mummy is like wrapped up and it's clearly a costume, and then you just unmask the mummy and it's so all of the supernatural stuff is explained by like a very like, you know, some land baron wanting his land back or whatever the fuck. This one does the inverse. It's like everything is rational and explainable by, and as you were saying, like it's not the tale of the Guardian's curse. It's the tale, or it's not the, I said the wrong thing. It's not the curse of the mummy's tomb. It's like the curse of the angry guy. And it's like that for almost the entirety of the book. But then suddenly at the very end, magic is real. Mummies are real. They come to life and they help you.
R.L. Stein realized that he couldn't put a fucking mummy on the cover of the book if he didn't have a goddamn mummy show up.
Or at the very least, a mummy with red glowing eyes. Like, yeah, no, 100%, totally. And I just, this kind of inverse Scooby-Doo thing is just, I don't like it as much as just a normal, like, Scooby-Doo tale with maybe like a twist at the end that, oh, maybe some of the magic was real, you know, shit like that.
I
think Mario just died. I think he sighed.
All right, prick, twist, the next book.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and...
The next book in the series is Let's Get Invisible, ending with an exclamation point.
Let's get invisible. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
The cover is really goofy.
I love the cover.
This is not a Jacobus cover, is it? This can't be.
I don't think it is.
It doesn't look like it.
I think if you look at the bottom, if you're on the wiki, there should be some. I think he tried his hand at this. What? Really?
It says it's Jacobus.
Oh my god, it actually is. Oh shit, it is.
Oh wow,
Okay.
It looks nothing like any other Jacobus cover. Like, this is like some fucking Bailey School Kids Hardy Boys shit. Like this is.
Can you see it, babe?
I think I can. Hold on. It kind of gives me. It reminds me of some Fear Street covers, sort of.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Do you want to describe it?
It's a boy. You're looking at him. I think that's a reflection of him through a mirror.
Yes.
And it looks like the bottom. He's looking at his hand. I guess in horror. And it looks like the bottom of him is disappearing.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
While he's making a duo face.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And the caption is, now you see him, now you don't.
Which
Okay.
I love that.
All right.
I like that a lot.
All right. So what's the twist?
All right, Rich, you want to take a stab at it?
No. Someone else.
Mario, what's the twist?
Oh, well, if we're doing Curse of the Mummy's tomb logic, no one will be invisible, and there will be no invisibility whatsoever. But okay, all right. Oh, I got it. The twist at the end, he will no longer be invisible. Okay, I guess he'll become invisible, probably. But everyone else will be invisible. He can't see anyone else.
Ah,
The end.
nice. I got a little twist there.
Yeah, that's my twist.
You predicted it. For me, God, I don't know. It's one of those things where I think it's similar to, like, I could take inspiration from another Goosebumps book that we're coming to, the Cuckoo Clock of Doom, the Cuckoo Clock of Doom, where the it's not so much the twist is that. Okay, I'm just gonna I'm gonna take that into account. I'm not gonna spoil anything with that one because oh my god, I remember that one. Like, it's crazy. I'm so excited to get to that one. For this, maybe the twist is that there are already people who are invisible, and they like maybe the ending, him turning invisible, maybe isn't all bad. And like, so the twist is that he actually turns invisible permanently, but he's not alone. Maybe.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Maybe.
I'm throwing that
I mean,
out
that's
there.
definitely not gonna happen.
The problem is, Let's Get Invisible is not a Goosebumps title I remember or think about ever. And the title is like, it's a good title actually, but the cover is not so exciting that I can really, like.
Yeah, it's just kind of blah.
It's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna become invisible. Like, what's the possible twist on Invisible Boy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I do know a little piece of interesting trivia about this, based on the art of Goosebumps that Mario so generously gave to me. One of the pieces of trivia is that when Jacobus did this cover, I think that that Scholastic thought that it wasn't creepy enough. And his original version of this did not have a spider on a spider web.
Is that what the spider looks like added on?
Exactly. One of the people from Scholastic, I think, added that on after the fact. So yeah, that's why it clearly looks like fake and added on.
Interesting.
So
I should also note that there will be a TV episode for Let's Get Invisible, as there is not one for the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are not doing that one, which is made kind of weirder because the sequel to the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, which what is the name of that one? It's just like the Return of the Mummy.
The Return of the Mummy, which implies there's a fucking mummy to return. You fucking piece, god damn it, Arlstein. You fucking lied to me.
But apparently, the Return of the Mummy, the sequel to this book, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, has a TV episode. So like, I don't. We'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah. All right. That's all we got.
I'm drained. I'm empty inside.
Oh man, I just
like a mummy. I'm fucking empty.
No thoughts. Skull empty.
Yes.
Tomb. It may concern this book bad. Trying to think of a good joke to end out on. Maybe that was it. You didn't say your catchphrase, motherfucker.
Good book.
What catchphrase?
Which
one of my catchphrase?
Oh, he's so tired.
Which one of the... Did I not call Gabe a fucking freak? Because he is a fucking freak. He's a fucking freak. He's got a fucking... First of all, all right. First of all, he's a fucking freak because he's obsessed with his cousin and like how much better she is than him. That's fucking cool it, kid. All right, dial it back a notch. 2, he carries a severed hand of a dead human in his pocket and fondles it. What a fucking freak!